Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Heavyweight Gaming for the third time this week. It's now Friday evening of the first lockdown of the year. Let's hope it's the last.
Friday.
It is Friday. What day is it then, Sam?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Sam's not the bright child, he's the ginger child.
Homeschooling's going well, ain't he?
But he is a ginger that tans, so there's hope for him yet. Right, be quiet for the third time this week. Little attention-seeking one, I don't know where he gets it from. So welcome to a channel named after me. We're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th Ed, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, Session 9. Samson! I'm telling you off on the internet. Chill, please, while I do this. Then I can mute myself and then you can be noisy. Right. Roberto is going to be Dungeon Mastering for us, Session 9. So if you want to find us on social media, you can do. Avoid any child service websites because I'll probably be on them for beating the child after this. But yes, go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, name some others, and we will be there. We've got a Discord.
Pretty much the big ones.
Right there, boom. Heavyweight Gaming, you'll find them. We've got a Discord channel. Again, it's called Heavyweight Gaming. The invite will probably go out in the chat that you can have a look at. We do not have any. Oh, I'm lying. We have our sponsor for tonight's show is Loke Battle Mats. As you can see, Rob holding up there, they are incredible artists that do a giant book of battle mats, and they are literally like you flip them up and boom, you've got tundra, forest, mountain, cave, magic circle, dungeon crawl. Just boom, there on the table, and you can get your players running around it. They also do the digital versions. Go to Drive Through RPG, just put in Loki Battle Mats, you'll find them. You've got pay nothing, pay what you want, or some of them are a few extra quid. And you can get the digital versions to use on things like Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, any other virtual tabletops that you use. So they're incredible. They've just finished a Towns and Taverns Kickstarter that's very successful. They've started, I believe, bringing them out now for people to buy, or at least on the cusp of putting them to retail. They are beautiful. So we should be seeing them. And you will see them on pretty much most of our stuff through the week, to be honest. So thank you very much to Lucky Bottomats. We use Syrinscape for all our background ambient music. So if it's a bit loud, let me know, I'll turn it down. If it's too quiet, let me know and I'll turn it up. It's on the same mixer as the players, so I do have to be careful we don't drown them out or turn them off.
Who's talking?
Does depend who's talking. We've got a Patreon page. Feel free to follow the link to the Patreon page and throw a couple of quid at it. We use it for like artwork and such. For some characters, we use it for artwork in Arcane Script, which is a 5e content-filled super magazine that we release every month, anywhere between 20 and 30 pages. Last year, we started it last January. We did a full 12 months, and I think we capped out at like 280 something pages done for the year, which is a ridiculous amount. But it's absolutely rammed full of our lore. And wizarding magical wonderfulness from our world of Colossus. And there are lots and lots of 5e subclasses, NPCs, spells, weapons, adventures, etc. in there. So you do get that for throwing a few quid at the Patreon page. And obviously you get our undying appreciation. If you throw 200 bits to the episode, the players get a free reroll. They have to use it this session, they can't carry them over. We can only hold 5 at any one time. We can't use them on death saving throws unless Rob tells me otherwise. And we can't use them on Rob's rolls either, they've got to be our own. So I believe that is everything. We've done the sponsors, done the social media, we've done the Syrinscape, done the Patreon page, we've done the bits. I believe that's it. So I'm going to pass you over to Roberto to recap, and there we go. Ruffworx with the first 200 bits. Thank you very much. Go.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. Viewers, fans, people playing, NPCs you haven't met yet. I'm sure they wish you well as well. Why not? So we are back. Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's our Secrets Worth Dying For campaign. Our Friday night 5th Ed campaign based on Wizards of the Coast, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Those playing along at home, doing their own campaigns, there might be some differences. Tweaked a few things, changed a few things, but it is loosely based off of the book. Excellent campaign, well worth a look if you're looking at getting involved with some D&D goodness. So we've all slept a few times since. We've all probably indulged over Christmas. Half of us have slept, the other half have just powered through for 3 weeks straight. Going to offer a little bit of a recap just for people at home's benefit, my benefit, and probably some of the players as well. So we are going to have a little look and see. So you guys you met through your goblin Elkis, who was setting out from one of the villages of 10 towns, or one of the settlements within 10 towns, on the trail of a recent killing of his mentor, a mother figure in his life who kind of raised him, looked after him, was found dead, and a keepsake taken. So he headed to Bryn Shundar, the capital of 10 towns, to look for help, asking questions and wanting some people, either through coin or through charity, or just to do the right thing, really, and see what he could find with nowhere else to turn. The rest of you had fell on hard times through various means. The Dale is locked in an endless winter, and has been for several months, if not years, and trade is harsh. Tourism's dried up, crops and the fish and fishing industry that the towns rely on has gone south, and people are basically just about scraping by. You all came together in the capital and met an elderly lady, Helm, who advised you of some recent murders that had gone on. There's been a few people that have been found dead under suspicious circumstances, and maybe having something to do with Elkis's little caper. You guys went and played detective. You worked your way around Bryn Shundar, then over to Torgus via attacking a bunch of goblins and getting yourself a cart. And then from Torgus up to Caer Konig, the mountaineering town at the base of Calvin's Ken Mountain, where you headed up the mountain, rescuing Garrett at his husband's request after escorting a bunch of wizarding explorer types up the mountain. You murdered a Yeti, orphaned a small Yeti child, and found the remains of some mages. No one came down alive other than yourselves. You got back down to Caer Konig, kind of took stock of what had happened. A few more pieces of the thing was falling into place. Ardry recognizing a substance found, a black crystalline stone known as Shardlin, which seems to be a relic of an old civilization, or a historic civilization lost to myth and urban tales of riches locked away. You met the speaker of Caer Konig, a dragonborn named Trovus, who, despite his love for a few adult beverages, was doing a pretty good job at keeping the town safe, and was hot on the trail of what he believed to be spirits or ghostly creatures. You guys headed out, tracked down the spirits and ghostly creatures, and found yourselves a dwarven stronghold to the north, which turned out to be under the control of some Duragar, or dark dwarves from the Underdark. You infiltrated, that's a strong word, you made a lot of noise and entered the settlement. I think infiltrate is giving you a little bit too much credit. Laid waste to pretty much everything in there after an interesting fight with the apparent leader of the warband there. Claimed the riches for yourself, came across a bigger stash of this dark crystalline substance, some notes and a few more clues as to further Duragar activity, and headed back to town. You were rewarded with a breastplate, a magical breastplate from Trovus, and staying at, whose house was it? Staying at Vale's property, I believe, in Caer Konig, from a mountaineering shop. You guys rested up, spoke to Trovus, spoke to the sisters who ran the inn, Ali and Corey, and pretty much have rested up. You nursed your wounds from the fight with the Duragar up north, and set your sights on the southern or southeasterly town of Easthaven. You're not yet set off. You are currently bright-eyed, bushy-tailed in the town of Caer Konig. This small, almost like an amphitheater. The whole town kind of slopes down towards a frozen lake. The lake was primarily used for tourism. There's a ferry that went back and forth between Easthaven and Caer Konig to bring travelers, to bring tourism for mountaineering expeditions and the scenic sort of mountain views, now a long since dead industry. and left the settlement a little bit isolated. But yeah, all roads seem to point to East Haven at this stage. It's the nearest town. Well, it's the southerly town from where you are. And yeah, that's where we'll begin. It is mid-morning. You guys are rested, breakfast, fed, watered, and out in the streets of Caer Konig. The time is your own, and away we go. I will add as well, just missed a little bit out there. You guys were tracking a caravan led by a merchant who of mixed reviews and shady dealings named Torga. And Torga's caravan had headed through here and headed around the towns and was seemingly connected to the attacks and the murders that had happened previously. And that was what I kind of set you guys on this trail in the first place. Yeah, just to refresh everyone's memory.
Rob,
Yes.
remind me who Miss Shawn was. Looks after Temple of the Morning Lord.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you were asking for where you might know more information about Duragar, or asking for more information about locals' goings on, and you were directed that a person who may know something or may know more about the surrounding areas outside of 10 towns was the occupancy of a temple in Bryn Shindar. There is a priest of the Morning Lord who runs out of a temple in the capital.
Still trying to absorb all that information via osmosis, so just give me a second.
You guys went through it and experienced it all. You were tracking down murders. You found a bunch of Duragar. Elkis found the pendant off of his recently deceased. And the murder, or the person who's responsible for the deaths around town is still at large. And you guys had just kind of come back from the Duragar stronghold. You found a note on the body of one of the people there that apparently led to further Duragar goings on within the towns.
All signs point to East Haven. That's probably where we should go. Am I right in thinking that's the one that there is a ferry to, but is now not operational?
Yes, you mean
That is.
because we received the letter. Well, we acquired a letter.
Found the letter, yeah, about the person.
Letter found our dwarven body. Brother, you will find me at East Haven. The search for Sharding continues.
Yeah.
Long may Father's darkness reign.
Yeah. So we need to get to East Haven somehow without
sounds
a
like
ferry.
a note I wrote.
To East Haven.
We head in that direction. We need to try and find passage on some kind of boat, though, I'd assume. I don't know. Would
So-
I know about there being any other way round there, Rob? Like to
Unless
get
Are
there?
any of you
so
yeah,
frozen.
You probably would, actually, knowing that you're from this area. So if I just quickly refresh myself on the topography. So Caer Konig is the northeasterly point. If you imagine a clock, you're at 11 o'clock. You're right at the very northeast. Further north from where you are is just the base of the mountain, and then just unexplored tundra for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. It is on the bank of Lake Dinnershire, which follows through Caer Konig all the way down to East Haven, which is on the other side. It kind of horseshoes around. So you can walk to East Haven, but traditionally the quicker way was to take the ferry that cut off basically the corner. And then to the other side of the lake, which is a longer walk around, is a small settlement called Caer Dinerval.
So we can walk. The ferry's not operational.
I'm easy.
And then the path then from East Haven branches back to Bryn Shindar or down to Goodmead and Dugan's Hole.
Okay. There's options, but I guess we won't know until we've been to East Haven. So. Is everyone cool with walking, or should we try and find a boat?
I'm happy to walk.
Whatever happened to the caravan we acquired?
While you've been here,
With the
you'll
wolves.
know the lake is frozen over, which is why the ferry's not running in the first instance.
Mm.
I can
boats
swim through
are-
ice.
Most of the fishermen are either breaking ice holes and fishing like ice hole fishing, or one of the lakes further. One of the other 3 lakes. One of them is still available for boat fishing. The other 2 have frozen.
Seems like we're walking then.
Where did I leave the wolves? It was in the town with the.
In the bears, you
The
left
bears.
Oh, the bears.
The
Oh, the
Yeah, the
bears.
bears. Yeah.
strapped to the front of a caravan outside of Targus.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I thought we left them with
What's his face?
We left
What's
them-
his
yeah,
face,
we
his
left them-
husband?
Yeah.
Left
Ubby
them
and
with
Ubby.
Keegan.
because
You
Mm.
basically
Yeah,
Garrett.
no,
Told
we
him to
also
feed
gave them
them.
money and went, here's some money, make sure they're fed.
Yep. By the time we get back, they're going to have eaten the town. So
Two semi-wild grizzly bears that you chained up to a fence post and asked a mountaineer to feed them.
They weren't wild.
You got them off a bunch of goblins out in the wilderness.
Doesn't necessarily mean they were wild. They were domesticated at some way.
Food's food at the
They,
end of the day.
Probably more wild after you cast magic at them. Magic.
They like me.
Tried
I
to
didn't have a
cast
problem
magic,
with them.
Didn't work very well.
but yeah, walking. Can we walk across the lake, or is that a really stupid idea?
It's easy.
How
as
long
as
is it
you're not
going to
heavy.
take us to walk?
We could slide on our tummies like penguins.
4 days.
4 days. And are we completely sure that we're not going to die by walking on this ice?
No.
I mean, there are fishermen on the ice, and they're like.
But I'm
kinda
not
using-
completely sure we won't die getting a boat in a frozen lake.
How long
Fishermen
will it
do
take
go out
us
on
to
the
get
ice,
back?
And tunnel into the ice to fish, so
Yeah.
it does support
Depends how far we're
occasional
across.
fishermen. It's a big lake, like
We
it's.
could die in the tavern. There's no difference to dying out on the lake.
Tavern Swarm has got alcohol.
We could
Just
take some
saying.
alcohol
Yeah.
with us.
What's the difference in time from going across the lake to going round?
3
Walking,
hours.
you mean?
Is it
Okay.
3 hours? Because I swear.
No, make a wisdom check.
Okay. Could it be wisdom survival?
But make a survival check. Yeah, you're a mountaineer. You travel.
Could it be wisdom and survival?
Survival.
You know what? You went for it. I'll give it makes sense. Why not? Let's start
Don't
the
ask,
new
don't
year.
get.
Let's start the new year with a bit of a positive.
Oh.
You're all dead.
Nat 1, so 5.
Excellent.
We've got to reroll.
Yeah.
We've got to reroll.
Yeah, you could walk across.
I
You could
would
walk across the
recommend
ice.
take that
You
reroll.
you've never particularly. You've always taken the ferry. You haven't made the walk from East Haven to Caercon. You have no idea how long it takes to walk, and you have no idea.
I don't know. Or I can take the reroll and maybe get better and tell us.
Blow the reroll on how long does it take to walk somewhere. I love it.
No, I won't.
Does anybody know what lives under the ice?
Fish.
Obviously there's fish, but
Big fish.
Tarasques.
Not sure how many fish because I don't think they're used to this thicker ice.
They're Arctic fish. Just put it out there.
But how it's a lake, is it not?
It's a lake.
And
It
how
is a
long has it been
freshwater lake.
frozen?
3 hours.
About 18 months.
About 18 months.
And it's uncommon for this weather to last this long. Is that right? Or is it always like this? I can't remember.
It's frozen over in the past, here and there, not to this extent, not to this.
Okay.
I'm just trying to
duration.
think about the oxygen survival rate of
A
fish in the water.
freshwater fish.
Right,
in
none of us are
Arctic
marine
conditions.
biologists. This is a fantasy RPG game.
You were a warlock.
Yeah.
If you can't back this up
roll
with
for
science, Rob.
oxygen level.
All for fish intelligence.
it's really strange how much fish knowledge your patron has given you.
We don't talk about my patron. You don't know who my patron is. We don't talk about them.
Knucklebone trout,
We do.
that's
It's the
why.
archfish.
The archfish.
I say we just go across. It's gonna take longer to walk around. If we die on the ice, we die on the ice. We're gonna die at some point anyway.
I said that.
I'm game.
I'm aware that you said that, but I was just trying to think of any other alternative that we have, and we don't.
Let's go on the
Right.
ice then.
Let's go. I'll start off running
Okay.
across the ice.
Okay. You head down to the shoreline. You can see the tavern. You can see all the other structures and areas around Caer Conning that you've been to, and you see kind of the pier that's encased. You see the boats kind of held fast. A lot of them have got snowbanks up against them, unused for months and months and months. You see a couple of sort of distant figures out on the ice that appear to be fishing, maybe 10, 15 minutes out onto the lake. You can make a perception check, all of you.
You can.
Natural
18.
1.
Jesus.
Everyone's first roll going to be in that one.
I hope so.
13.
18.
Mine was a 16.
14.
Mine is a
Right.
nat 1 plus 0.
The three of you that have got working eyes can look over. You can just about see at a very, very kind of almost horizon level distance what appears to be the shore or some trees or terrain that isn't just expansive nothing. It looks like it's going to be several hours to cross this lake.
Can I take my warhammer out and just tap the ice?
Yeah, make a strength check.
No!
I'm not. Just to be clear, I'm not smacking the ice. I'm just tapping it.
Be clear, make a strength check.
I just want to break it before we step on it.
It's always other parts of the ice. We could just walk down the, shore and just.
That's a little bit different to my previous roll. That's 21.
Really?
You tap it, and nothing happens for a second. You like hit, and you're like, okay, it makes like a dull thud. That kind of reverberates out a little bit, and then there's the faintest hint of like almost a whisper on the wind of a crack.
I don't know if I like walking on this, guys.
I don't
No.
like the fact that you just smacked it with a warhammer, but who cares?
We're not walking here. We're going to walk about
An hour.
half a mile down the road.
Okay, let's go down there and I'll test that bit.
And then we're going to keep distance from each other a fair amount so we're not all jumbled like a bunch of freaking flamingos together and drop it in. Okay.
Can we make some kind of like slingshot where we could slide Elkis on his belly, but onto the ice,
We
so he
don't need
just
a
keeps
slingshot.
going?
We have a catapult. And I just look
Do
at
we?
gentle steps.
I'll look it over my shoulder.
I'm getting.
Rope, anybody? Maybe we should just hold on to rope
Everyone.
person.
No, because remember what happened in that avalanche?
I'm liking this penguin idea.
If somebody goes fishing, we could just pluck them out with the rope at least. So
You are more than welcome to penguin across if you would like, Elkis.
Plan, ladies and gentlemen.
We're moving away from the crack.
Far away.
Are we still going along the ice though?
That's up
on
to
the
you
ice,
guys.
I'm good.
I'm a
good to
bit
go across
nervous
the
now.
ice.
I heard that crack, but I'm following you guys.
How
Could you
much does
just
everyone
twat it with a
weigh?
hammer in
You-
the ice's defense?
In the ice's defense.
I like to think I've got a little bit of control with my hammer.
No. You might
Come on
be
then.
little, but there's no control. No.
Across the ice we go.
Yep, we're off.
Are we tying ourselves together like in the avalanche,
Nope.
or are we just gonna everyone for themselves? Kind
We
of.
die, we die. Okay.
If you've not got the decks, it's your own fault.
Pretty much. Oh,
Well,
wait, that's
if we're-
me. Shit.
If we're all tied together and Gentle Steps goes in, which one of us can actually pick him back out?
Saloon.
Celine.
Just
I think Celine has the
Celine-
highest strength score, doesn't she? Oh no,
Yeah.
but she's the strongest.
Look at her shoulders and waist. She looks like a goddamn Dorito.
Hey, you mean
I'm fine. I'm gonna, in the meantime, as we're waltzing, take my
A local
lovely
delicacy
ice
for
pick.
Goliaths. Doritos.
They're just baked penguins, that's all.
Yummy penguins. Celine's going to take one of her ice picks and a rope and just kind of cleverly tie it as tight as possible, just in case she goes
Okay.
flying or something. I could fling that onto the ice and hopefully it'll latch on or at somebody and they could grab it.
You're gonna
Wishful
try
thinking.
and,
bury itself in her
yeehaw
back
lasso.
and then.
I mean, tis but a
Balls to hell
scratch.
kiss.
Straight in the
Tis but a
forehead.
flesh wound.
Hey, yep, you guys prepare however you wish and head out onto the ice.
I'm just gonna lift my collar up and set off. That's my preparing.
It's brisk, like, oh boy, it's cold. Like, yes, you've got cold weather kit on, but you're exposed now more than you've probably been. I mean, the terrain's not exactly got a lot of cover normally, but you are on just a expanse of nothing. You can see kind of snowdrift kicking off, winds is catching. It is cold. It is hard going. The ground is slick, so you know you a couple of times kind of your feet skid a little bit, and you have to regain your footing. You do spend the next 5 to 6 hours crossing the lake. What order would you lovely folk like to be travelling in?
I'll be at the back.
Who's the lightest?
Spread out.
Elkis,
Yeah.
I think, would be the lightest.
With all
That's
his
how
armor?
heavy is a warhammer.
Oh no, he's got armor.
I'll have you know, I'm a hefty 70 pounds wearing studded leather.
Icewind Dale has become trapped.
Oh yes.
Maybe if we walk like not in a line,
No,
but
not
maybe
lying.
next to each other in a line, like so we're not all
Not
walking on the
next to
same
each other?
part,
Like a search
No, like-
line.
like a horizontal line rather than one behind the other, so that we're not
Exactly.
The
all
opening,
walking on the same
like the
part.
opening of Expendables.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we're not all
exactly like
walking on the
that.
same part and we're spreading our weight out like that way across the lake, rather than all walking on the same bit one after the other and weakening it.
Yes.
As long as Elkis gets to be Arnie and Jenna is Jet Li.
I'm
Those
just
are the cool-
hoping. Sorry,
Over
Rob,
the-
I'm just hoping that the whole lake is pretty much like the same ice everywhere. It's not gonna be like thinner patches or anything.
I think it's
Oh,
wide
it
enough
is.
that we wouldn't make much of a. Would I be right in saying, if it's a horseshoe kind of shaped lake, it's wide enough that we're not gonna be
Make
like-
a survival check.
great at them.
With that smirk on his face. Oh,
That's just
I know
resting,
for a
don't worry
fact
about it.
there is.
That's just how I
20.
look.
20
20.
modified, yeah.
Yeah.
You would normally
16 plus
know
one.
that towards the coast or towards the edges, it tends to be, you know, lakes freeze from the outside in, like where the water isn't as deep. This has been you're not aware of this lake unfreezing in the last 18 months. You're aware that a lot of the fishermen have to dig, and it's quite arduous. They have to dig quite a distance through to get to water to fish in. You're pretty confident, unless you just happen to hit a spot that had already been dug or a particularly weak spot. For the most part, it's going to be pretty, like, we're talking 12, 18 inches worth of ice.
It should be okay as long as we, walk not one way and not one way the other way, so that if someone does hit like a bit that's been like recently fished in or something that's been weakened and dug and then frozen over again, we're not all gonna follow in. If it like cracks and expands, we'll be the other way. I think is the best way to do it.
Those holes are usually small enough that you probably just like your foot will fall in,
Mm.
or the entirety of Elkis could just fall in. But his armor might save him. You know, just kind of on the outside.
Just a shoulder, his pauldron is just wedging me. He's like,
Fuck him out.
I'm gonna walk across the ice like this.
We all
he
need
posing
swimming
across the ice.
donuts, like really wide ones.
Okay, so you guys, like I say, you spend probably the best part of 5 to 6 hours crossing the ice.
Yep.
Can you all just make general dexterity checks for me for the duration of your trip? You are walking across like ice, and yes, you've got cold weather equipment on, but your boots are more for
What's
training.
this? A dexterity
So-
check or
Yes,
save?
please. Check.
Do I get advantage?
No.
Are you in heavy armor?
I'm not in heavy armor. I'm in medium armor.
Not done.
I'm a
18
weird
plus
paladin.
4, so
That's an 8.
5.
Hannah's looking less than pleased.
I've got a 4.
That's unfortunate.
I'm not the
know
lowest.
it is.
Still got a 5. That's unfortunate.
I'm gonna slip and smack
You want
my
mine?
face. All I ask, please can I not break my nose?
22.
Okay, Elkis.
8.
And Vale.
22.
Okay. You two are you're in a straight line. You're all walking kind of expendable style across the ice, snow billowing in the background. Cameraman's getting a great footage, for the upcoming documentary. And Audrey, you do stop dead at a crack underfoot. Like you hear it, and immediately just every muscle in your body just goes. Whoop.
Yeah, no, because my entire body just did that anyway.
Did you poop? Are you okay, Audrey?
So close.
You look down, you can see kind of spider webbing, cracks underneath your right foot.
Can I use my brain?
Yes, please.
I'd like to think yeah, sure.
So I can really
Black.
slowly get down onto the floor and penguin, because that is the safest way to cross when there is a crack around, because it means that you spread out your body weight, which means that the crack isn't going to spread further.
Make a acrobatics check.
Oh, stealth check, so the ice doesn't know.
What's the ice's passive perception?
Please be like a 5. No, but that's a 17.
So yeah, you feel the ice crack, and everyone else kind of looks, and you hear it, and you just see Audrey just stop dead, and then kind of slowly just sinks down, and just kind of like hands out, like just hands and knees, just like gliding.
Oh, no knees, just hands.
Just like about 10-20 meters across the lake.
I want to look really concerned.
I'm
As
looking
if I
very
haven't seen the crack. This is just something that she does.
I'm looking very confused, and I'm just going to get down and cop here.
It's smart.
You don't make the hole any worse. The crack does not seem to spread, and you, before too long, feel comfortable being able to stand back up. And before too long, you will make it to, you do spot about half a dozen piers coming out to meet you as you approach the harbour, coming from Lake Denishir into the port of Easthaven.
That was way less eventful than I expected.
That's
Happens
sweet
when you
plan.
don't roll bad.
Yeah, so less not eventful.
So as you start heading in, the weather does clear. It's not sunny. It's still that kind of weird twilight, constant evening sunset. None of you are from Easthaven, are you?
No.
E.
Oh, you are. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So, you guys, as you head in, there is 8 or 9 piers. Some of them branch out into kind of Y shapes. There are boats aplenty. Almost all of them seem their keels just locked in ice, snow up against the side of them. Some of them have a few gulls or other kind of seafaring bird land on them, and they seem neglected. They seem like they haven't seen much use. They've not been tidied. They do seem pretty roughed up. Easthaven is one of the bigger towns. It is second to Bryn Shandar in its size. Compared to Caer Konig, you're talking maybe 5-6 times the population. It is a huge town. As you're coming in, it's kind of a straight line, and it kind of just runs off of this port. You can see a large 2-story building that Celine, you know, is the town hall. That kind of rises up in kind of this central. It's almost like a cathedral, but not quite, without the steeple. It's kind of this built-up building in the middle, and everything else kind of comes away from it. You are aware that the Easthaven does have a standing militia. It's one of the few settlements that does have a kind of almost like a garrison. They're not trained soldiers, they're not professional soldiers, but town bell goes off. The people, there's well able-bodied people know what to do when there is a drill, and they'll grab weapons and they can respond to threats. You are aware in Easthaven, again, Celine, that there is no law against theft and pickpocketing. In honor of the Rogue and Thieves Guild that founded the town years and years ago.
lady's little face, the way it lit up. It's like...
Oh yeah.
Ravey time.
Sleight of hand. I do a sleight of hand check. Sleight of hand.
You're on the lake still. Like...
I rob the lick. I rob the lick.
Yeah, so the founders of East Haven were a thieves guild, and the thieves guild were kind of driven out years ago. But in honor of how prosperous the town became on the back of Thieves Transit, they kept in it. They left it out of the town's laws and made it a legal practice as a honoring of the founders of the town.
Amazing. What a society to be built on.
Why do you think I chose my
concept.
residence here?
So you guys are currently on the lake, maybe about 5-10 minutes left before you're amongst the boats, as it were, and on the shores of East Haven proper.
Home, sweet home.
I stand back up and follow the others walking.
You gone the whole rest of the way on your tummy.
He's just been holding on to my boots as he's...
Sliding across these.
You say this is home, Celine?
Yes, it is. Been here in a bit.
Anything we should know?
It's probably better to ask what you...
Oh, the player power of no, it's fine, crack on.
Better to ask.
Nice place.
Where's the safest place? Just watch your pockets.
Why?
As a heads up, just because it is a lawless, it is quite a nice town. It is up there with the capital. It's like the second most prosperous town within the settlements.
We're all nicking it for everyone else.
It was when it's open, the port is the biggest port within the settlement, and it was very, very quick to kind of reinvent itself and stay adapting and kind of a little bit ahead of its time, where the other areas are very almost not quick to embrace things that weren't mining, lumberjacking, and trade. There was a few more niceties in this town.
Good place, but just mind yourselves and watch your pockets.
It looks so nice.
Hmm.
You can see kind of
So do
fluttering
I.
as you guys head in. You can see the big town banners ribbоning down, which is a white top and then a red and blue stripe underneath with a snowflake in the middle of it. Kind of this red scatters of red and blue banner ends. Kind of you can see them now contrasting up against the white snowbanks and the kind of low-hanging mist just coming off the water.
I guess the nicer it looks, the more dangerous it probably is.
I know the
Keep an
feeling.
eye out.
Is there like anywhere, like I imagine there's quite a few taverns and inns and stuff, but anywhere or anyone that might like act as like a central hub, or anyone that might know any goings on of the town? Like, you have like the barmaids and the tavern owners that generally know the comings and goings of any new people, gossiping, etc., that we might speak to.
What Ree's trying to say is there any houses of ill repute?
Plenty.
Where are the know-it-alls? Where do we find them?
Celine, you're aware of two inns fit the bill. There is one at the far left, a Dockland bar called the Wet Trout, which is usually kind of a working bar, like fishermen, those types, sailors, very business first, like after work pint sort of place. The other one, a little bit more classy, around the town centre, called the White Lady Inn.
That one. We can't go to the Wet Trout. I'll get banned from Twitch.
It's just not spicy tuna, that's all I'll say.
It's spicy!
That's over in Goodmead.
Look, there's a few, but for the sake of having a little bit of a calmer... What time is it, Rob, right now?
Probably a little bit after noon. It's
Okay.
Still daytime.
The greatest.
For the sake of...
It goes from evening to night, back to evening. You're in the evening part.
I wasn't paying attention that night. So we're back to the evening part. Celine's gonna, I'm just gonna turn to the group. May I suggest that we go to a slightly more humble place for
Not
the
the
time
Wet
being?
Trout.
not the wet trout, even though I live near the wet trout, across the street from it. But totally not on purpose.
This is why you
know,
don't play
I was
D&D with
not
Hannah,
looking.
just to put it out there.
I'm sorry, who was the person that started this?
It's the worst adjective and the worst fish named a pub after it.
Trout in the lake, or knucklehead trout. Like,
Yeah, Hannah.
This is why I spend so much time in the place. Let us go. This is why I spend so much time in East Haven.
it's like
or
comic
my
relief
apartment.
before the,
Oh, sorry, I thought you were
peril
saying that
coming
you
in the
spent a
second
lot of-
half.
I thought you said you spent a lot of time in the wet trout, and I'm like, Celine, we are obviously very similar people.
Yes. I won't mention
Right.
where I spend most of my time, but I will suggest to the group that we
Oh,
go
I
to
fish.
the White Lady Inn.
Will I be allowed in the White Lady Inn?
Gentle
No
steps in the
problem.
background going, I like fish. It's just too much.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Really,
it's
D&D
okay.
campaign, they said. It'd
I'll
be
put
fun,
my
they
arm
said.
around him.
Cool.
Around,
So
around Elkis, you can go anywhere. I can go. Same to say for the rest of you as well. Just follow me.
So at this point, I will say
Can I,
you have made sure.
Can I just say I shit my pants because I know Ree keeps snakes, and then the dog's head popped up, and I was like, "That is the biggest domestic snake I've ever." I can see its actual emotions. My ass fell out. I was like, "She's gonna die. She's gonna die."
Fun fact, as another snake owner,
Right, AD,
You're
I don't know if you
fine.
know this. Dogs and snakes have got a few differences.
Yeah, so this one is
Just
fluffy.
you.
He really likes his bum being touched, so he sits like this next to me a lot.
I mean, don't we all? Alright, so,
Yes.
did you just say yes?
Why does
to me,
Carvin
didn't
never devolve into this?
Because I don't do master. You gotta rein us in, Rob.
Oh god. Right, you guys make sure.
Right, we're going to the, what's it
It
called?
is
The Wet Lady.
The white trout.
quite
The Wet Lady.
You
Wet kipper.
Fish lady.
It's been a while since you've been something this urban. Like there are, rather than just being like a circle of houses around a port, there are streets, there are rows of houses. It's a proper functioning town. It's sort of 800-900 people live here. There are different districts. It is not bustling, but there's signs of life. There's people, walking around, wrapped up against the elements. There is stuff going on. It's probably the most people you've seen in one place that you haven't murdered in probably about a week. I'm guessing Salim will take the lead, and you head towards the center of town. You pass the large town hall building, which is this quite grand, almost gothic, two-story, older-looking building. Some of these big, rich oak doors, all fancy iron banding around it, and it's a very smart-looking building. Town hall is kind of where the center of everything is normally, where any disputes are settled, where work is handed out, and where the speaker, who you know to be Speaker Danath, and Captain Imdra, kind of command things from. They very much work as a pair. One of them looks after the politics, one of them looks after law and order and military-esque militia. You head just past that building to the next road across, where you see the front of the White Lady Inn. As you approach, there is a little bit of commotion further down to the town square. You can see what appears to be the back of a crowd. There seems to be a number of people, probably approaching their hundreds, crowding around the town square. There seems to be a billow of black smoke heading up into the sky beyond it. And you can hear cheering, the occasional shout in the distance. There's definitely some commotion going on.
Is this something that Celine knows that is a common occurrence? Something commonplace?
Make
Or?
There's no local knowledge check, is there? Be wisdom, I guess. Or wisdom check.
Not one. We have no rerolls,
There's
right?
yours.
Never heard anything about this. It's not something you've ever come across. There's no festivals, festivities, or nothing like that. That kind of.
Alright, clearly I don't spend enough time in town. Yeah.
But you can kind of see that in the path going straight ahead, and then to the right is the White Lady Inn.
How far away is the cheering and stuff?
About a couple of minutes walk down the road. It's like you can see like the back end of the crowd, and you can like hear a few like distant noises going on. It's unclear really, but it's a couple of minutes down the way.
Does it smell like anything else except for burning smoke? Just burning wood? Is there any scent that I can smell that's burning? That's unpleasant.
Shy's loving this. Oh. Not particularly. I mean, it's a lakeside. I mean, it's usually there's that kind of like fishing industry smell of seafood, whereas here that's kind of gone because the trade's dried up. It's just
no. Towards I meant like where the smoke is coming from.
No. You get a little bit of kind of wood smoke and like a little bit of acridity to it, but nothing jumps out of the ordinary. There's no sort of. It's not like a giant vape pen or anything.
I'll walk down.
Not like
and see what's
something
going on.
somebody's burning, right?
I'm gonna go with gentle steps to see what the fuss is.
Okay, you see gentle steps and Elkis take off in front of you, head towards the crowd.
I was about to say let's go inside and ask what's going on, but
You say it
carry
smells
on
like-
and I'll
Let's split
follow
the
them.
party.
You
Split
just
the party
said
never
burning
goes wrong.
flesh.
No, it's just
No.
burning.
She said,
All right, I thought Celine said
from what I
something
said,
burning.
you catch like an acridity like smoke. You're 200 feet away. You don't really get a flavor, if you like.
Man flesh. Meat's back on the menu, boys. I mean, it's a play I've seen.
A lovely
I
one.
got that play.
The old Shakespeare classic.
Yeah,
You're-
came in 3 parts.
You're in the play, Elkis. So we'll keep walking now.
Is there a crowd? I'm jumping up trying to see.
Yeah, you can't see. As you get closer, you can see less and less. Gentle steps. You get a few kind of people kind of.
I'll put
almost
him on
make
my
a break
shoulder.
for you. You're like the 7-footer at the rock gig. Like people just, you can see above, no problem at all. Elkish, you're kind of thought in between waist and you kind of catch
6'11".
occasional elbow.
Would
I'm
you just put
watch-
Elkis on your shoulder?
I was gonna say, Elkis
Just
should be
put him on your
Yeah,
shoulder.
I did. I put him on my shoulder.
Oh, good.
I can see.
You
What can I
guys
see?
kind of, you get some of his shoulders. Roll a perception check.
So I can see above everyone now, but with no perception check. But because he's on my shoulder,
You can roll
No,
one as well.
no, I don't
You're
want
left
to. I
out.
don't want to play dice.
I've managed to land my dice in the channel around my dice tray.
In the channel, Jesus, well played.
Yeah, it's posh.
16.
17.
Bastard.
You see maybe the crowd is 15, 20 rows deep, and you see in the middle, kind of this crowd, it spirals around this center location. It appears to be a raised up dais in the middle, which seems to be, at this point, you see kind of a wooden pole sticking out of the ground, be 10 feet up, and just a pillar of flame and smoke around the base of it.
What do you
The-
see, Elkis?
They're burning a
And
pillar.
I'll relay back to him.
He shouts from 300 foot away.
Aside from the pillar, is there anybody around it? I'll whisper to him because I don't know
It-
anybody else.
It's on some kind of dice.
There's a lot of cheering.
Is there a body on there?
Can I see if there's officials or a Guy Fawkes or...
You can see what looks to be kind of some more authoritative looking figures around the platform.
Oh, you there? The closest authority-looking figure there is.
There's some...
They're like,
If
they're
not,
right at
I'll-
the front of the
I'll
crowd.
start
Like
pushing
you're,
through.
okay. Eventually, you get all of you go with him, kind of following the channel, or okay.
I don't have a
you
choice.
eventually As you at this
Gentle
point,
Moses steps.
it gets easy to go through. As you're getting close, the crowd starts to disperse. A few people kind of stay around for the warmth, but it seems whatever was going on has gone on, and this is kind of the last. People are starting to drift away, and the noise is getting quieter. And you see a couple of armored officials, all with this red and blue kind of sash around them. There's no uniformity to their kit. Like some have got breastplates, some have got studded armor. There's an assortment of sort of sheathed weaponry, and you see a female close kind of sign what appears to be documents, and then close a book and start coming the other way and heading away.
I think it was a street player.
Street play. Play.
The nearest one, I'll shout again. You there?
The lady stops. Yes.
Quite a party. What did you just celebrate?
It's not just celebration. It's an execution.
Of
Not a
who?
player.
Sounds pretty Shakespearean to me.
Sorry, I missed what AD said.
Who did you execute? Why? What? Why didn't you just stab them? Why burn them?
Look, I don't make the rules around here. There's a wizard. A man named Azan. Caught him 4 days ago. Came here with the Brotherhood. Was searching out in the wilderness. Had recruited some adventurers to follow him out and found them all dead.
What, so you
Seemed
killed
he
the
was
wizard?
No, the wizard was the one who killed them. It appeared that they'd done some work for him. Their usefulness had worn out, and he put them all, say, to the blade, as it were. Found him trying to skip town in his room, dragged him out here, refused to talk. Kept him in the jail for 3 days, interrogated him, refused to talk. We follow our town's practice.
Kill people who stay quiet, I understand.
Murderers.
How do you know he's a murderer?
Was caught murdering his party.
No, you said you
Mercenaries
found
who
him near them, they were dead. And then when you questioned him, he kept quiet.
We arrested him and questioned him.
Did you
Found
have
him.
Did you see him kill them?
Not personally, my guards did.
Your guards? I look at any of the guards reacting as if they were one of the guards that may have said they seen him do it.
Both of them were just stone-faced, staring back at you.
I'm gonna stare at the nearest guard, stone-faced, on the back of Gentle Steps.
I do this.
Look, times are tough as they are. Without me, plenty to be doing. Is
Did you
anything
say you
else
killed
I
them
can do?
outside the town?
Just in the outskirts, that's right.
How far on the outskirts?
A few minutes travel, not far.
So if I
Seen
told
those
you I
coming
killed
back.
someone up in the hills, would you arrest me for murder?
Depends if it was in cold blood. Depends what you do out there. If it's not my place to say. But round here, in these parts, I'm paid to protect.
Oh, sir, mister, ma'am.
Some of these mercenaries and adventurers were residents here, people who lived here, people who worked here, looking to earn coin. People who betray those who work for them and kill them in cold blood have no place in this town.
Ma'am, sir, guard
down.
person, up, on Gentle Step's shoulder.
Looks up at you. Oh, that's a first.
As she looks down, I'll be like, thanks for the compliment, but he's on my shoulder.
Elkis puffs up his shirt.
That's not Elkis.
It's all quite cold out there. Aren't they all in cold blood?
I was thinking the same thing, Elkis.
I take
Look,
Elkis off
behind me.
my shoulder. I take Elkis off my shoulder. He's not with me.
Have you double checked the wizard? Are you sure he's dead? Tricksy folk are
So-
wizards.
She just looks over her shoulder, this pillowing inferno of fire and smoke.
Is he still in there? Have you checked?
Aware.
You really should check. Tricksy folk are wizards.
It's gonna burn for a few hours. Yep. Time for that.
Rob, this is the town speaker that's talking to us, right?
This is not. It is
What's not?
Captain Imdra. The rest of you wouldn't recognise her. You would.
Anyway, the name's
Does she know me
Steps.
enough?
Doesn't
My
appear
name's-
to recognise you. You've never really spoke on. Yeah, you recognise her because she's an authority figure in the town. Not necessarily that she's particularly friendly with the locals.
I'll put my hand out and say, hey, my name's
Sorry,
Gentle
she's-
Steps.
She is, however, half elven.
I remove my...
That was towards Celine.
I
not
know,
to-
I know.
I'll give my hand out to her and I will ask her who were the ones that
Two
murdered.
outstretched hands.
I'll be
Mine
eyeballing
out.
her like, I dare you to take hers first.
She does make pleasantry. She does introduce herself as Captain Imdra to both you and you.
Tell her I know who you are. I'm from here.
A
Can you
bit
tell me the
strong,
names of
like,
who?
It's very authoritative. It's just a quick one done, and
I
all that
don't
is.
no,
shake anyone's
there's no
hand.
double shaking going on.
I'm Melkis.
Just looks down at you. Like, what exactly? I've got plenty to be doing with. Why you waste my time?
It's funny.
Because I want to know if any of my friends were murdered. What are the names of the people that were dead?
And that.
I'll have to check the records. It's probably best speaking with Daneth on that one. We were just told to round up Tazan on the night, and he's been in the cell since. And see if we could find out who else was with him and who else had been working with him, what he was doing here. And came up short, unfortunately.
Where's Daneth right now?
Suspecting the town hall, his officers.
Do you think he's available to speak soon?
I'm sure if you could book in an appointment, be able to see you in the next couple of days.
That won't do, unfortunately. You'll need to speak to him immediately if that's possible.
I'm sure it would, but busy man. Got a town to run. We've got more important things we're doing than speaking to every adventuring type, any townsfolk who happens to seek an audience.
And if I say these adventuring types are people who might know a little more about the wizard that you just burnt.
I suggest if you know something, you make it known.
I'll make it known in a more private place, not out here in public. Cast us an audience immediately if you can, or by the end of the day. Any information that I divulge just saves my town. Helps you out and helps me out as well, including my crew.
Make a
There's-
persuasion.
I touch
Sweet
Celine's
Jesus.
shoulder
I
and go,
assist. I've got proficiency. Can I assist?
Somebody assist me.
Oh,
I'm
because
not assisting.
she's the only one talking.
Yeah, because I'm gonna definitely need
And
assistance
if
from
you
this
think
one.
a squad of 5
That's
people are going to like
got
try and physically intimidate her.
Well, no, because what you don't realise is that Bale's actually behind you doing
No,
like
you
a
don't
sexy
get
dance
advantage,
in,
roll
like,
the dice.
persuasion.
It's got my
Like,
arms
oh,
through hers. And
yes.
I'm...
They start setting up a second pillar in the town square.
They have no rerolls, right? Okay, so that's
We
a
do.
4.
No,
We do, we have one.
We do.
We have
We
one.
do.
Roll it.
Because I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I didn't
re-roll
use
that
it.
one. 8.
Get some new dice.
Better than I really do. I didn't need some new dice. Somebody buy me new dice. We took
Worth it.
4.
Speak of Daneth, we'll see you first thing in the morning if you do have information leading to whatever is going on in these parts. We've got reason
I
to
accept that.
believe. We have reason to believe that these wizards came as a group several weeks ago and have been slinking around the shadows up to who knows what. And we feel it's in the town's best interest to know what's going on, if it poses a threat to us, and how we can end it before we end up with more bodies on our doorstep.
I appreciate that.
I suggest for your sake, if you're holding information back, that you bring it to us in the morning, be prompt, be thorough, stay out of the way while we deal with the issues.
No worries about that. See you in the morning.
I pat her on the shoulder and let my hand drop and rob a coin purse.
Handshake. Warm up. This all perception check.
What are we, level 3? This is a stupid idea.
I thought you meant Celine then. So he's robbing you and
21. 16 plus 5.
Nice.
Oh no, I'm robbing
Jesus
Celine.
H. Christ. You hands kind of quick as probably one of the more quickest ones you've ever done. It was just kind of through a loop, flick open and pull, and you kind of brace yourself for it to turn around, but she kind of struts off with purpose down the street. It's kind of almost like a duster style jacket that kind of trails behind as she.
Did she introduce herself with title or just name?
She's going to say Captain.
Captain. As she's like maybe 30 feet from me, I'm like, Captain! And I should tell her, you drop this, and I'll throw her a coin purse.
you just
General
like
steps, yeah,
catches it
very,
in her
very
hands.
odd.
And she
Very
just
odd
kind of
guy.
looks at it and then kind of checks.
It's all there.
It's odd fit. You aren't from round here, are you?
I look around here. No.
Speak in the morning. Turns tail, 180, and struts off down the road.
So we eating, drinking.
You're currently you're currently enjoying the warmth of the bonfire behind you.
Burning wizard.
Yeah. Ooh.
The
Long
bastard
pick.
bird, it's fine.
Does anybody have any
Marshmallows, churros?
marshmallows? Yeah.
I think they're all dry and cured, unfortunately, but we can get some.
What's the
fresh-
morality of making churros, making like, s'mores over the burning corpse of an executioner?
In this town, nobody's gonna care. If anything,
That's
they'll just
fair.
probably join in.
You're on mute.
Can't hear you, Edry.
I knew that.
But it was a fantastic Charlie Chaplin impression. So.
Thank you. What I was saying was really unimportant, so I'm kind of glad I was muted.
So we're up to the trout woman or the white fish or something.
The spicy tuna.
A spicy
The
tuna.
spicy lady. We're off to the
Spicy
spicy lady.
The white
We're off
lady
to
is
the.
inn.
Yeah,
What is her name, Celine?
the white lady.
Are we off?
I'm sorry.
What time does the
Oh.
white lady open?
24 hours a day.
What she said.
We could,
When she's good and ready.
Pretty sure she's open
Ask
right now.
yourself.
we should go. We should go in the white lady, one at a time. Like,
I'll
How
head
many
on.
How many
I
people
was
are
about
allowed
to
in the
say
White
something
Lady?
else.
I actually hate you all.
I just got to this. I just stopped laughing at it.
Are we all
I'm going
allowed
to
in the
go
White Lady
in
at once?
first.
I'll come up from behind.
I'll go in.
Only if there's space.
I'll watch from a distance.
Ah, that's it. So, see, it's all started, and it's like, what, 9:10?
Avoiding keywords, so I'm going to
Enter.
not enter. Not
To
go in.
the white lady inn.
Waltz into the white lady inn.
Waltz in, wow.
Open the
Okay.
door.
Does
I
she
would
have
like
a-
to.
does
I
she
would
have a
like to
wizard's
slide
sleeve,
my
perchance?
way into the front entrance.
Not the
Okay,
back passage.
you slide your way into the front entrance of the white lady inn.
I look down.
Yes, embrace it.
Look down at Elkis. Why are you always on your front, Elkis? Just
I saw
walk
it.
normally.
I saw Andrew doing it, and I heard somewhere that it's a really efficient way to get around.
I also saw Adri cast magic at a bear.
I just got this brilliant new
I-
idea of sneaking around. If we need to get somewhere across and nobody to see us, we can just slide Elkis across the floor like a penguin really quick. Just whoosh.
Okay, I'll
en-
stand up again.
you enter the tavern. It is
I
kind
have
of
music for this.
not tastefully decorated particularly. It's quite old. It's quite musty.
Pink.
It's not pink. It's just the wood planks facing inwards. There is a fire going in at either end. There is like several. So they've broken into like smaller rooms. Like it's kind of open plan, like archways leading to different rooms. But it seems to be the building wasn't built to be a bar or built to be an inn. It seems to have been turned into one at a later date. You head in. There is a couple of kind of sullen-looking gentlemen nursing drinks and varying descriptions around the bar, and then there seems to be a larger group in one of the back rooms. Seems to be some sort of group sat around a table in the back. Which would you like to do?
Go grab the table in the back.
I shall.
Who's inside here?
Pick it up, or
So you, if you've been here before, Celine, would you have been here before?
Okay,
Probably, yeah. So you know there's an older gentleman named Bartaban,
bartender.
who he's the proprietor of the inn. Yes,
Is he behind the bar?
he is.
Bart? What? Bart?
Bartaban.
bartender.
Bartender, the bartender.
Bartabin. Bartabin. Crap with the British names.
And his son passed me. a
Sir!
glass.
And I'll just wave at him.
Half of this campaign is like Welsh Gaelic names, horrible to pronounce.
Barty! And I'll wave at him.
Yeah, that works.
I
Do I
should
know
be
you?
him. I mean, you should from the amount of time and money I've spent here in the last couple of years.
You and every other one else who visits this place.
But
You here for the seance?
For the what now?
Yes.
There.
I suppose so. Why
Sorry,
not?
Did I hear the S word?
The only
What
reason
sounds?
anyone- The little halfling fellow, he comes in here every now and again and leaves the place smelling of incense for days. He rents out the back room every now and again. He's got his friends and followers, pay him coin to tell ghost stories. I don't know.
You can
they're in
rent
all
out the
time.
White Lady's back room.
Yes.
And he leaves it smelling
Fabulous.
funky.
Can we bring food and drink with us in there?
You know all the sponsorships that have just gone.
The only question I have for you is, sounds like a grand plan. We'd love to join in. Can we bring food and drink in?
As you please. We don't have
Fantastic.
food on right now, but if you've got any with you, you're more than welcome to it. Drinks, the usual wines and beers and spirits, whatever you want.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Around for my crew, whatever they
I don't
want.
think we should drink spirits at a seance. It sounds disrespectful.
No, we definitely should. We definitely should.
And
Please.
it's also probably 2 p.m.
Oh?
Drink the spirits, sir.
Sorry.
Well, a
Is this not a
6'11"
high
Goliath
fantasy game?
frog.
I'm
Who
pretty
drinks
sure 2
water?
PM does not matter.
Look, I'd just like a nice warm hot cocoa with a bit of spike to it, please.
I thought you were going to
Drinks.
say warm
And-
beer then.
Why every time we walk in a tavern, Celine, do you sound like you're flirting with the menu?
Because it makes me happy.
Just
Brings me joy. When I'm slaughtering outside and just covered in blood 24/7, this place just brings out the
I sidestep about
Happy.
5 feet to the left, away from Celine.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yes,
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have a mead, please.
Did
Yep,
I not tell
drinks.
you all that in this town that the loveliest looking things are the most dangerous? So be careful with people who sound like me most of the time, unless I'm outside of town.
Could I
Drinks
have
are
a
prepared.
mead in a pint, please? I heard they come in pints.
Looks at you,
You
but
don't want a pint of that, Elkis.
Both hands.
Adri, you're going to love what we order.
caters to the request, and yep, the drinks are provided as requested.
Ice water.
All water in this place is iced.
That's,
There's not a lot of warm
Ship the
beverages.
ice into a glass.
that's literally
Skips out the window.
Shove-
Yeah,
Alright.
drinks. It's 3 silver, please.
I look at Celine.
I'll grab it, yeah, because the coin purse is
That's
with
all
me.
your
I'll pass
water.
him.
Guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for your custom. As I say, the
I'll leave him a little tip
ghost
as well.
storytelling time in the back is ongoing. You can more than welcome to join, I suppose, or feel free to help yourself to a table.
It's already started.
I'm almost halfway in the door to the seance at this point.
Your guess is as good as mine. He'd come in
Okay.
here and just make a mess and leave. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in with my
Yeah,
pint.
there's definitely
So we all
gonna be
go
a
into the
mess there.
seance, yeah?
Do not run in and scare the crap out of everybody who's probably already terrified from whatever this little man is saying.
as you move across the bar, you do kind of see kind of this heavy kind of grey incense that is collecting in the back corner. It's sickly sweet. It kind of, you get close, you're like, oh, okay, that's definitely, that's potent. You've got I've been to this bar. You've got these lanterns that have been draped with different colour silks, which are casting different hues of greens and blues across the table and kind of dims the light down. Similar are kind of hung around the rafters. It's almost like the inside of like a tent, almost like hung up from the rafters, and kind of brings the whole room quite small. There's maybe 4 or 5 people sort of around this table. And then stood on a bar stool towards the back is a fairly portly looking halfling who has a thick, full, jet black beard, this almost skull cap on, these big rimmed spectacles that are like a size too big for his head, almost like they weren't ever sized for a halfling, and similar coloured like silks wrapped around. It's a very odd ensemble. He's currently stood up on the bar stool with their eyes closed. Series of candles are on the table, and everyone's kind of in silence as you guys enter the chamber.
Gonna look around for a place to, like, you know, that we can just kind of.
Are there any like
Into,
free
right.
chairs? Yeah.
There's a couple of chairs, but they're taken. A few of the patrons, there's 1 or 2 that have sat cross-legged on the floor. Another gentleman kind of leans up against one of the walls. It seems to be a bit of a floral stand-in at the moment.
Have they all got the right shirt?
No, just the halfling.
Can I find a place to just kind of stand and have a good view of everybody for the most part? Without being sus?
It's not. You're not going to. There's only 5 or 6 in the room. Like, any newcomers are going to be spotted. There's
Okay.
plenty of room for everyone to kind of fit in, but it's not like you're going to subtly slip into the back sort of thing. It's very
All right, then I'll just
obvious that you've entered as a group.
I'll just relax and waltz around and find a comfortable spot just to stand and view.
I'll stand or kneel as pretty close to those sitting as I can. And during the seance, I'm going to move people's stuff around, like take that person's coin purse and swap it with somebody else's coin purse.
It's nothing sacred, gentle steps.
if they've got any loose rabbit's feet or anything like that hanging off their belt, so I'm going to swap them around.
As you guys
Mess with
kind
the
of come
mind.
in, the halfling at the front pushes back up the sleeves of his robes, places his hands together, opens his eyes and looks over the room, and the eyes come down once more, and begins speaking in a soft, almost whisper voice of, "Lady who watches from the lake, come to us in our darkest hour. Tell us what you've seen." There's a few moments that pass, and a couple of moments more. And just as you kind of get to that awkward, what's supposed to be happening? Is anything supposed to be happening? What's going on? You see the candles kind of start to flicker in unison. It's not really obvious, but the shadows all kind of scatter just for a second. And you see the halfling at the table, kind of holds his hands together once more and just bows his head. And you feel a very soft wind chill kind of circulate the room. It's got a direction to it. It kind of comes past and washes over you. You kind of just feel it's almost enough to hear like a little judder, like as the chill just catches you. And the halfling turns round with the window behind him, and one by one the panes of glass slowly start condensing, and you get the kind of patterns of ice before each window totally goes opaque with frost.
I would like to cast Divine Sense.
Okay,
I would like to switch around their coin purses.
you make a sleight of hand check. Mr. Elkis, is that the detecting?
Yep. Detect's good and evil, but it's detect. You can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Okay. You sense a growing presence of undeath.
20.
It's not massive. It's not like, oh god, there's Vecna on my head. It's more, there's very much like this. When you've detected it before, it's kind of, you can see like this is almost like an ambient death rather than a physical form. If that makes sense. And sorry, go ahead.
Just going to turn to the others if they can see me and kind of go.
And at this point, the halfling turns round and holds his hand out towards you, Elkis. It says, "You there, you have a connection to those who have passed?"
Define connection?
Seems for whatever presence joins us in the room is aware of your presence or knew of it.
I
think he's on about your mom, Elquis.
Oh. Yeah, I've got connections with people that have passed.
Sense of spirit of the White Lady is close. And her essence was drawn to you as if the unseen was seen, as if she's been looked at for the first time. That I've sensed a presence here before, but was never able to reach out or to get the attention. But you seem to have drawn it. Would you help? Hold his hand out towards you.
You mean you can't see her?
Can you?
I can't see her, I can sense. Sure, I'll help.
And he clasps his hand in your hand.
Hello,
One hand on top of the
Sebastian.
other.
Fancy seeing you here.
Can you make me a charisma check, please, Elkis?
First charisma check.
It's not a saving throw, it's a charisma check.
20 on my sleight of hand. I feel I need to get that across.
I'm aware. Don't you worry. I'm aware. I'm waiting for the one.
I panicked when it tipped.
Hello.
While Elquis is trying to focus, can I just cast Mage Hand and just start flicking the top of his ear? Just in a really annoying way. Just
make the charisma check with disadvantage, please, Elkis.
I rolled bad enough as it was. That was slightly better. 10.
It's disadvantage.
How disadvantage
On your
works. You pick the worst.
The worst one, my first roll. The second was slightly better, so it's a 10.
Still 10. Okay, sure. I thought you got disadvantage. Oh, got better. 10. Yay.
No.
No.
To be fair, even 10, mate.
It's not great to say my charisma is my highest stat.
He squeezes your hand and kind of looks square into your eyes. He's got these lush, like really deep green eyes that just kind of bore into you.
I start stroking his end.
He, after a few moments, kind of lets go and gestures to the window, and you see
down my balls.
as you. I hate you all so much. As you, I'm just going to mute Hannah for every second. You see within the frost and the condensation on the window, 3 small dots appear just in a line.
2 eyes, a nose.
Boring
You have
They're in
3
horizontal
lives.
line. Dot, dot, dot. And the halfling kind of almost drags you to face the window and offers you the chance to ask you questions, small one. It seems whatever presence has joined us here tonight is responsive and wishes to lend their knowledge.
I just nudge Vale before he answers. Did that halfling just call that goblin the small one?
Halfling's bigger than him.
True.
Also, during this time, you roll me a d6 plus. Roll me a d6, Mr. Gentle Steps.
I don't want to. I won.
Okay. You managed to
No.
during this time you managed to swap the 2 closest people's coin purses between them. You open one out, you kind of pull out a handful of copper and swap it with a handful of gold from the other, put them back and kind of cinch them to. No one seems to have noticed.
Free? Is it 3 questions, Mr. Halfling, sir? There's 3 dots. I don't know what they mean.
Just go ahead and ask your questions, Charlotte. I don't know how long his presence may stay with us. You may get 3.
Okay.
It's not for me to say.
We're looking for a group of people. Are we in the right place?
And then there's kind of a couple of seconds pass, and a couple more, and just as kind of like, oh, this is a bit weird, like nothing's happening, you see very, very slowly in the condensation a line start to draw. And eventually, in kind of cursive, single, as if someone's drawing on the glass in the condensation, there's the word yes.
You see that, guys?
Is it condensation or frost?
As you look over, everyone is just transfixed at this window. There's like 10, 12 people just like, the
Is it condensation
it's
or
like
frost?
that initial,
Okay.
like,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
like the first part of a car freezing over. It's like that
Yep.
initial frosty condensation-y.
Was she
Condensation.
murdered? Was she
It's been a couple of
murdered
weeks.
for her pendant, her shardling?
What?
And after a couple of seconds again, you get lines, different lines this time, start forming. And again, 3-letter word. Who?
Mother. They got a name. My dad's
You forgot
Your
your mother's
backstory.
name.
Soon.
I've got enough NPCs to track out yours as well. Jesus.
Nyaris. My mother, Nyaris.
And then on the second pane this time, so if the yes and who kind of top and bottom of the first pane, the second pane, the word yes is repeated.
Thought so.
What is he on about?
So they're in this town that we're looking for, and they killed her for a shardling.
Hold asking him any questions until afterwards.
Oh.
Comes, little one. Continue. What is it you wish to know? Ask of those no longer with us. They have knowledge beyond this realm. They can guide you.
Should we stop this group from collecting the shardling?
And there's on the second part of the second pane, there is just the 3 dots again.
She keeps showing me ellipses.
Is that your cousin?
Possibly.
That's hyphen.
Well, he's Alkis, ellipsis, who knows?
Do you have any questions, guys? I'm
Yeah, I do.
blank.
What are you doing?
I'm talking to the window.
You're talking to the window.
Yeah.
Make a charisma check again, please, Elkis.
Yep. That's
10 again.
6s in a row, yeah.
You're the shittest adventure party in the world.
As you look away from the window, you feel a blast of cold air kind of emanate out, and just there's that shudder again as the kind of icy chill just catches you all.
Has the 3 dots on the window gone? Mr. Halfling, is she still here? Can I still sense her? I think it lasts for a minute or something like that.
It's a single
What I
pulse,
want to
isn't it?
know.
A
Ask
minute
her
has
where we
long
should
since
look.
passed.
I thought Divine Sense was a single pulse.
It might be actually. Until the end of your next turn, yeah, it's
So
6
it's 6
seconds.
seconds.
I'll cast it again.
Okay. You get a faint essence that seems to be drifting away. There's still an aura of death and undead energy, but
Ask where we should look for the people that are stealing the shardling. Can they
Where
guide us?
Where should we look, window? Mrs. Lady?
a few more seconds pass, and you look at the window. A few more seconds pass, and a few more, and nothing appears in the window.
I'll cast it again.
The essence is all but faded. Appears to have gone into the ground and kind of, what's the word?
Dissipated.
Like dissipated, yeah, into the ground and
Fucked off.
I think she's gone. That was interesting.
the
Elkis, you shouldn't talk to the dead.
halfling on the table on the store just kind of looks at you and goes, hope this information will be of use to you, traveller. It's not often those who have passed this plane choose to reach out.
I should have asked who she was.
Waste
Not-
of a question.
No, but do you not feel like it was probably your mother?
Not sure. He said she's
She-
a wide. He said she's a wide lady. Alaris was quite slight.
What do we know about this white lady? I'm gonna ask the little, what's his name, the halfling. What do you know of her? And how long have you been doing this?
Been doing this all my life. Commune with those who have passed and bring peace to those seeking questions, those didn't get to say goodbye.
Is it
Is
always?
it always,
Sorry.
I think probably same question, is it always
Yep.
the same person, the same spirit? or answering on behalf of the dead, or is it?
That's a question beyond me, I'm afraid.
But you know of
Sometimes
no
the answer-
malevolence for this spirit. They've not led anybody down any kind of negative path, have they?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, spirits tend to communicate with those in their own ways, and the messages are often personal and only interpreted by those seeking the answers.
You
It's not
charge for
me
the
to
seance.
determine medium. No.
Could it be possible that they're just too scared to tell us these answers? Maybe afraid of what's on the other side that we can't see.
Well, there are many questions. It's not my answers to give, I'm afraid. It's rare for a connection such as this to manifest. Usually there is disruption, there is a presence, there is a sense of sadness or lostness, but it's been some time since a physical presence has been felt such as this.
I'll look at Elkis.
The cab with
Elkis, whatever questions you asked, it seems that they were valid, but to the point that the spirit is probably too afraid to answer, from what I can tell. That's the only knowledge that I can have.
She answered a couple of them. We're in the right place, and they did kill her for the shard.
It's a
Sorry,
start.
Mr. Halfling.
the tavern, you may have, if any of the locals here directed me to this tavern in the first place. Many moons ago, was apparently run by a couple, a miser of a man, hoarded gold and riches, and the rumor is he hoarded too much, and the weight of his treasures capsized the boat on the lake, led to himself and his wife to a watery grave, and his spirit still remains trapped there within the wreckage. His wife roams these lands, roams the lake, searching for freedom, searching for comfort. It's who I believe may inhabit this place, and who we try and reach out to, provide some closure not only for those seeking questions, but for those.
Has anybody
spirits that
ever
remain
asked for
restless.
her closure? Has anybody ever asked her, does she need help?
Like I say, these sort of connections are rare. Occasionally we feel a presence. People have reported a feeling of sadness over the next few days. People have claimed to have seen spirits on the lake, seen ripples in the water where previously there were none.
How often
Everyone
do you do
takes-
this? Forgot.
Every 2 I was gonna say every 10 day, but yeah, every 10 day.
What's a 10 day, sorry?
A week.
Every 10 days or every week? That's a
Yeah,
week,
yeah,
right?
10
10 days,
days.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Maybe we should come back next time if we're in the area and see if she needs help.
Perhaps.
You don't trust the dead.
But for
And the
now, we
stronger
have
connections I felt, which is why I've stuck around here. And while those spirits choose to commune with us, I'll continue to commune with them.
the work you
Ian.
do is very noble and admirable, but we got some really important information that's pertinent to us and our reason for being here. So I feel like we need to act on that. I fully support what you do, but it's not something that we can, provide assistance with here. Not that you're asking for any, but we have
It's gravy
very
time.
important things that we need to now look into, as from the answers that we got from that spirit.
Kind of a soft smile creeps across his face, and it's good to know that those who don't find their rest can still offer a service to those who remain with us.
I'm just gonna nod.
Hopefully it guides you on your path.
Well, thank you for having us.
That was different to what I expected.
But we know we're in the right place, and we know that we have
Yes.
a meeting with the town speaker tomorrow. Maybe we could use this time to find out more information that we could tell them, now that we know that they're definitely here who we're looking for. The time between now and then.
I'm going to look to the group and just kind of quietly say so. All the patrons don't hear it too loud.
A lot of the other patrons are kind of whispering amongst each other. A few of them kind of point at this goblinoid who has seemingly made a connection with a spirit.
I'm going to look to the group and just quietly ask them, Do you think that down the line, if we come back and perhaps maybe see if the spirit needs help, in return it might help us with some more info?
I won't help the dead.
Why not?
They're dead. They had their time. They've moved on. They live in a different truth, a different world to us in the living. You should not trust the answers it gave you, Elkis.
All's true,
Yes.
but sometimes helping the dead does actually help them move on.
Would I lie to you? That's me, not the gnome, the halfling.
Yes, to both of you.
Not that I agree with what Denilsep said, but we are on some kind of quest to preserve the living at this point, and although the dead might be important and helping them might be important, they will stay dead, and we may have time to help them, we may not, but at the moment people that are alive are much more at risk, whilst the people that are killing them for these pieces of rock remain at large. So I think we should focus on that.
We
Yeah,
will.
I think it's worth considering down the line if we're in the right place. But yeah,
Definitely.
we
If
can't
we get
hang
stuck,
around.
if we're desperate for info.
Now we need to stay on
Over
task.
the next couple of minutes, the small halfling pulls out what appears to be a kind of a large canvas bag and quietly, delicately, and like with purpose, takes all the candles, snuffs the candles out, and lays them in one by one, and folds the silks up. And it's very methodical about the way he goes about it. And returns the setting to how it once was. Just bows his head to the people. A lot of patrons have kind of drifted to their own seats around the bar. And just
Before he goes, I'd like to shake his hand and introduce myself as Elkis. Yes,
Yeah.
my name's Elkis, by the way.
he holds his hand out. It's good to meet you. It's Aldo, and whatever connection you have, whatever touch of the divine you may have on you that enables you to cross these barriers, hold on to those. They're special, and it's rare to see things such as what you've seen today.
Okay.
Aldo, have you seen
Cool.
anything strange around town?
Oh, wizard being burned at a stake on our way in.
Yeah.
It's these are strange places. These are strange times.
Do you have any other kind of connection to anything around you aside from what you do here every 10 days?
Nothing beyond doing day.
All right.
And he puts on kind of a wide brimmed hat and a outdoor, like, big, almost one size too big kind of jacket made of like, just furs and cloth and bundled up. Kind of dips his head and takes his leave. And that's where we will take a break, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
Adria, remind me to ask you a question when we come back in character.
So
Cool.
thank you very much to those watching on Twitch. Hope you've enjoyed so far. We're going to take a short 10-minute break to recharge the coffee, tea, the usual beverages of choice. Thank you very much for
Brewski.
your attention. Brewski. If you haven't already, please take a few minutes to drop us a follow if you haven't, or follow on Twitter, join on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube for the catch-up. Other than that, stay with us. In 10 minutes, we'll be back and we will continue on.
Yeah, see you soon. See you soon.
Yay.
Rare, somber, and no one made a weird, inappropriate joke. Holy.
exactly the same we did
Out,
on the
you
last one.
Welcome back
Yeah.
to Heavyweight Gaming.
Ah, damn it. I thought we were
Ah.
going to do the
I'm
penis
going to
thing.
hand you over to Roberto. Thanks for tuning in. Rob is our GM for the evening. We're playing Icewind Dale, Round of the Frost Maiden, Session 9. Take it away, Rob.
Welcome back. Stuffed a piece of sugar into my mouth. Apologies. Welcome back, guys. We have just finished with the party. I thought we were going to do a longer intro, damn it. Bad timing. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience. We are back to continue our second half. The party have just arrived at the port of East Haven. I say port, it's a lakeside town that has a heavy fishing presence. Currently, the lake is frozen over as a result of the endless winter that has plagued the town. The party have witnessed what appeared to be an execution, burning of a gentleman named Azan, who apparently killed an adventuring party he had previously hired. They ran into Captain Imdra, the captain of the guard of East Haven, who has arranged a meeting with the town speaker the following morning. And the party just went to the White Lady Inn and witnessed a seance from a halfling named Aldo, who seemed to take a liking to Elkis's divine influence, and they seemingly made contact with a spirit. Aldo has just bid you a farewell, left the tavern, leaving you all there, drink in hand, ready to go. Don't all jump in at once.
Is it late? Is it late at night? I know it was evening. Not
no,
much
it
time
was
passed,
like-
has it?
Mid-afternoon at this point.
I'm about to say when we got there and we were like, yes, spirits. And Rob was like, no, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's hot. Like, I am taking liberty and going with time. Like, realistically, it'd be very difficult to keep track of time because you don't have the usual day-night cycle that you used to. Like, most of you now have kind of settled into this weird just acceptance of you're asleep and you're asleep, you're awake and you're awake. It doesn't make that much difference because everything needs torchlight anyway.
So we need to think of.
Like students, basically.
I
What
am
we're going-
hungry. Talking to windows is hungry work.
Oh, look, they just said they didn't have any food here now. I think after this that we may want to maybe mosey on down to the
Spicy
sloppy
tuna.
fish. Yes. At least they have food there, and maybe we might get some more information about who was killed before tomorrow morning.
The moist muscle.
They were mercs like myself, yes.
We need to find out what they'd hired this adventuring party to do, because it's not the first time we've come across a dead adventuring party. If you remember when we were in a mountain, not up a
Yeah.
Just
mountain.
think, your next characters will come across you, and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Don't, I did that to some of my players once.
But yeah, we should find out what he'd hired them to do, because if it's, look for anything to do with some kind of lost city that the other party were doing, they could be connected. So we
Yeah.
should
Can
find out more
anyone-
about Zahn.
It was
Can
all fine
anybody
and
ask
dan.
him? Can anybody ask him?
No, I'm not that way inclined.
Me neither.
Wait, sorry, ask who what? I got
He
lost for a
wants to
second.
ask the dead wizard questions.
Oh.
Necromancy stuff.
We walked into this town. I thought it was going to be a bit quiet for the time being, hence why I suggested this tavern. But we got something from here. Now it's time to go have some fun. Head off to the other place.
Wait, we've got a reroll. Thank you, Ruffworx.
Yay, thank you, Ruffworx.
We'll need it.
Yeah, we're gonna need that.
Desperately needed.
Go and see what we
Yeah.
can find out about Zahn then. At the
Yeah,
Wet fish, wherever we're going.
I'm gonna.
Wet trout. That's the
Also, we
name
need
of the
to
tavern.
find Mishra. The dude in the temple.
Michelle?
That's in Brinshendar.
That's
That's a
not
different
here.
town.
Oh, I knew that.
I actually didn't. Thanks for letting me know. I just had his name and stuff, but I didn't write which temple. I just know
The
there's
temple. And it's the only one. As we mentioned this before, Christmas, briefly, there's not a huge religious or magical or clerical presence in 10 Towns at all. They very much value practical, pragmatic trade rather than what they seem to be kind of wishy-washy magics and nonsense for the most part. Mages aren't particularly public about abilities. clerics tend to have very small private services, and religion tends to be a personal in-home thing rather than public places of worship, especially as they're, you know, following the recent endless winter and the seeming influence of a deity figure that seems to grip a lot of people in fear of divine beings rather than in worship of them. But there is a temple to the Morning Lord in Bryn Shindar, a small place, and it seems to be the only religious building within all of 10 towns that you're aware of.
So to the fish, yes?
Well, now that we've been to the Krusty Krab, heads off to the Chum Bucket.
That's not a bad analogy, to be honest with you. Okay, you guys head across town. It will take you about 15 minutes to walk to get from the center of town over to the Wet Trout back on the lakeside. It does take you through, you take the main thoroughfare. There are a lot of kind of market stalls that are shut up and have seen, you know, heavy snow drift and icicles hanging from the shutters, and it looks like the towns you visited previously, trade is quiet. A lot of stores just seem abandoned. You see a lot of the wood has rotted in places, banners seem unrepaired, and there is a sense of dying trade and livelihood that is in a decline. You make your way to the edge of the northeasterly edge of town by the waterfront, and there is the modest building, the inn called the Wet Trout.
Just so you all know, if anybody wants to retreat early, my place is just across the road.
Have to pay to stay there.
Thanks for the offer, Sonny.
There's plenty of warm blankets and stuff in the room.
So, Wet Trout is bigger than you expect. Jesus, it's bigger than you expected. It's known for
Jesus is bigger than you expected.
It's bigger. It's bigger than the inn you went to previously. It's a bit of a, you remember it leans a bit of kind of a dive bar equivalent. There's a lot of rumour mongering, a lot of shady dealings, at least when it was busier. Like everything, trade has declined. You can see this massive central chimney that kind of sticks out of the middle of the building rather than the edge. And you remember that the fireplace is kind of a central one. It's kind of like an open fire pit in the center of the bar, and everything kind of surrounds that, which gives it almost like ceremonial, like tribal fire, sort of like outdoorsy feel, if you like. You know that there's a dragonborn who runs the place called Nemetra, and has owned the place back when you were here as a local. You come up outside, and there seems to be a little bit of soft conversation, the occasional cut of cheer. It seems to be a little bit more of a lively atmosphere than the previous venue. Lights are on inside. You are outside of the Wet Trout.
I'm in.
Let's go in the Wet Trout.
He just dives in.
I'm walking.
I shall walk in this time.
You walk in, and you get the good old kind of several looks over the shoulder as a bunch of... There seems to be a rougher clientele here than previously. There's a lot of kind of, hoods drawn up. You see a lot of weapons that aren't particularly hidden. A lot of sheath and swords on belts. It definitely looks like a bit of a, rough and ready place. At the far back, you can see a huge, much bigger than Trovus, white dragonborn, whose kind of white scales and kind of blue fins casts really silhouette against the dark wood of the bar. And she's currently talking to a couple of patrons, serving drinks. The fireplace kind of, it's almost like a, not fire, it's like sunken in, what's the word I'm going, like a cast iron, like big dish, like on legs. It's
Brazier.
That's the word, thank you. It's like a central brazier in the middle of the bar. That's just, it's really warm in here. It's odd. It's comfort. It's like very comfort in terms of it's a good atmosphere. The temperature is nice, but it gives off a big distrust. It looks shady.
Yeah, everywhere looks a bit shady in 10 times.
What food do they do, Celine? Any good?
Hmm?
Do they do any decent food?
What would
Decent
you
as it
recommend?
gets. Mainly fish.
Just solid 6 out of 10.
A solid.
Somewhat.
Probably a little bit better than spoons.
And at this point, any food is good food, so...
At this point, any food is better than spoon's food.
Mm.
It's better than the Yates's, isn't it?
Oh, anything is better than Yates's.
It's not a
Scales.
microwave
Describe what they have on the
inside.
menu.
I go up to the
Look,
back.
if all the workers come here to eat, we'll be fine. If they can fill themselves up on what's here.
What do the workers look like? Do they look well?
Just
Do they look disease-ridden?
I mean, they look cold, shady, generally pissed off at the world, the fact their livelihood is in
Freestone went
tatters.
through.
Yeah.
Perfect, our people.
Well, to be fair, it's very
Like
rare.
unemployed
that
pirates is what
There's
they
not
look
many
like.
portly people in 10 towns, as a rule of thumb. Most people are working people that have no work.
to be fair, I'd never turn my nose up at food, no matter what it is, anyway.
Never turn your face up at your nose. I understand, Okis.
Yep,
I think
exactly.
you turn your face up to a lot of things.
I'm at the bar.
Alright.
Head on to the
Probably
bar.
looking eye to eye shot, like similar sort of build and size to you, Gentle Steps, is this
I'm a straight man,
Female.
motherfucker.
female dragonborn who kind of just grunts at you when you come up to the bar.
I grunt back.
The standard
Guys,
like
is
tall
this,
person
like-
greeting.
Yeah, is this kind of like flirting
It's a
in
mating
there?
ritual.
Is this how they flirt?
I think so.
You see,
Works
it's,
in
it's
Dragon
not
Ball.
a menu, Celine. It's like real reactions, not a menu.
I want to watch as if it were like a nature documentary, like from a
Uh-huh.
distance.
see
Like,
Gentle Steps
Walks up to the bar.
step up
Orders
onto
a
the
water.
bar and mount the dragon. I mean, what?
Hydration is important.
In the
Glad
wild.
such as Gentle Steps.
In this case, does the female kill the male afterwards, though?
Heads him, just rips his head off.
Herbal
Like
leaves
skin
wrapped
dry.
up in fabric and dunked in a warm liquid.
Yeah, I just want to stand with Elkis, Audrey, and
Right,
Celine,
bro,
just
master.
arms crossed, sort of like as a little huddle, just watching this exchange.
Taking notes.
Yeah.
Where was that 4 months ago when I was making a channel? It could have been Brewmaster.
Celine, do you reckon that Gentle Steps is gentle in all things?
Oh yeah, he's totally a bottom.
He's totally a bottom. Did you just?
I mean,
Goliath
considering who I
culture.
grew up with.
He's the bottom, like come on.
It's where the most fun is.
Depends on who's
All
after
this
him, and
totally
I'm looking at this dragonborn going,
The
she might own him.
Kind of looks at you like, what, you have him?
Water.
Bottom!
Would you like to twist a lime with that?
Make it an appletini, but hold the vodka.
What did you feed her, Celine? What was in that other drink?
I
Oh
don't
dear.
know. What was on those incense is the question. Creating the air in
Sexually
that room.
intense exchange. They
Mashed
grunted
off
at each
your
other and he
melons.
shouted water.
There's like a raised eyebrow of kind of curiosity, of like a little bit of surprise, and
Don't
gets
worry
a
about
water.
them lots. That one talks to
kind of-
windows, that one casts magic at bears, that one flirts with menus. Bale's okay.
And like a bit of a grimy glass.
It's because
slaps on
Bale's
the
the top.
table. Water.
I'm bottom and they're
It's
beneath me.
too intimidating.
Yeah.
That's just a copper for the water. Sure you're not having anything stronger?
I'm strong enough.
Wink.
Mead, please.
I'll note the absence of a wink. Elkis, you rock up to the bar?
I'm shouting over from where I am. I'm still
Too
observing.
afraid to approach.
He's
I don't want
also,
a cock block.
for a very charismatic paladin, he's also very rude.
Bar's over here.
Sorry, Gentle Steps. I
Yes,
thought you was
not.
getting. I'm gonna go over.
I pick Elkis up by the scruff of the neck.
Oh, good. I
Slam
can see.
him on the
Hey.
top.
I'm gonna
Who's
hold
at
on to
bottom now? Still you, Gentle Steps, still you.
as it slams me on the bar top. I'm gonna hold on so I don't fall back off. So,
Gentle
please.
Steps uses physical prowess as a display of power.
Gentle Steps eliminates the competition by.
Forget main quest. This is all just like.
Gentle Steps is
fanfic.
track for
Yeah.
a mate. Okay.
Taking more notes along the way. Walk it slowly.
Seems they're not a gathering of individuals. What brings you to these parts?
Couple things.
We're looking for a group of people we need to kill.
Precisely.
Get right
Straight
to
to
it.
the
Gentle
point.
Steps don't hold back.
And so most people here, just not many of them are that upfront about it.
Gentle
get
Steps is
bored
very,
easily.
very honest. He is very honest. He's very kind. He'll give you back whatever he steals,
I don't steal.
and he's a very gentle lover.
2 out of 3.
What do you
ain't
drink?
I look over to the dragon board to see if she heard this.
I'm talking to her.
As you,
Oh.
as you look over at the dragon board, she looks very disappointed.
I'm
Celine
still hanging on
Adrian,
to the bar. But,
We're just
yeah.
watching like a match of tennis.
Uh-huh.
You gonna buy a drink or just sit there?
Mead, please.
Likewise.
And whatever they're having. Wherever they're
Round
still-
is prepared, distributed, and set you back 2 silver pieces.
I will pay this.
12
Drinks
silver
are-
pieces.
2 silver pieces.
Or 2. I could
Gentle
get
Steps flirt when they get
20,
the price down.
20 waters for that.
Does that include the water?
I've got my
Is
own
there-
water, because
That's
thanks.
what you paid.
I can't
Okay.
believe that they're charging.
The
for
drinks
water.
are unceremoniously, roughly poured badly, and just kind of slammed on the bar. There isn't a
Poured
lot
badly?
into it.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, that in itself takes effort.
There's about that much head on a beer.
It was out of her way to make a bad job of it.
There's that much head on a mead. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I want to drink the top bit, Elkis.
I. Yeah.
Don't have a lot of choice.
Right.
Scoop it out and
Just kind of
You married?
wipe it on the bar.
no.
I'm gonna look around and see if we can find a place to just sit for a second so I can people watch and judge them.
I'm going to pat Gentle Steps on the knee and say good luck and go and sit with Celine.
I will react as if he's just pod-shotting me when he taps me on the knee. I'm like, oh, right on the tip. By the way, I'm 6'6", just so you know. In fact, I'm 6'11", and I took a few inches off.
Don't mean to be too intimidated.
Yeah.
Hello.
Then I'll follow up.
You find there is a table big enough to accommodate you all, kind of next but one to the bar. Seems pretty quiet.
Fine, I guess there's not a lot of work from the looks of it around.
Before I walk away, I cast Bless on Gentle Steps.
I'm already blessed. And a wink at Elkis.
Yep, so you get an extra D4 20 checks.
Cool.
Awesome.
Gonorrhea checks. You definitely have got a cheers, mate.
Alright.
The Dragonborn is she.
Apparently, I'm at the
Dragon,
bar tarting it up.
the Dragonborn is somebody I would have normally seen in my last couple of years here.
Yes.
So maybe I might work with-
How long have you're a fairly new.
Just before so I arrived there, just a little piece of plot story. I arrived there just maybe like, can't say how long because I haven't really. Maybe roughly a year, a couple of years before everything froze over.
Yeah.
Because my plan was to leave.
Yeah, you can't. You're not sure how long the Dragon Ball's been here, or you just can't ever remember a time they weren't. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So when I waltzed in, she was there, and it was just somebody that I've been passing around. And
Yeah, no, yeah. As long as you remember.
no issues with her, no ill feelings. I mean, we're all pretty much mercs here and whatnot.
She
Never
next.
really
All
had
the
much
feats.
other than small talk at the bar. You don't really know a lot about her.
All right. So it's pretty empty in here. I'm guessing because lack of work.
Yeah, there's a few people nursing drinks. But yeah, there's a few chats, like a few groups of people are chatting amongst themselves, dotted around. There's a few tables, a bit more lively than some of the places you've been, but it's hardly joyous. The occasional chuntering about how long everything, how long's the lake's going to stay frozen, and they don't know what they're going to do if it keeps on much longer, that sort of thing.
I forgot to ask her for food, and now I feel awkward. I don't want to go back and cramp Gentle Step's style.
I'm gonna go at bar and just approach subtly. See if I can
Grab
interject
some
and
food.
talk to the Dragonborn lady.
Get some info.
Who's doing what?
I'm going to the bar to talk to the Dragonborn lady.
I've got that far.
I'm flirting.
Sitting and sneakily watching Gentle Steps flirt.
Sneakily.
Kind of
Yep.
I don't believe that for a
Stealthily.
second.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty much just looking at you.
you guys go up to the bar, just kind of a kind of non-blasé look, like, yeah.
Have you heard anything about the wizard that was executed in the town centre earlier today? Do you know anything about that? We're new around here, so I was just wondering if you had any information.
Not much detail going around, to be honest with you. Only probably heard what you've heard. Some wizarding types, arcane users, untrustworthy lot. Apparently came in a few weeks ago. Apparently got himself into a bit of trouble and found himself out there.
Do you have any idea what, he looked like? I don't know if you saw him. I don't know if you were there when he was executed. Like, what race he was? What did he look like?
I weren't there tonight. I've been working, but came in a few days ago now. Must have been last week. Quiet fellow. These almost khaki-coloured robes. It seemed a little bit foreign, like travelled far. Wasn't anything from around here. Sort of human, from what I can tell at least. Seemed tan, like he'd come in from the south.
Like regular height and build?
As far as
Nothing
humans
striking
go.
about his features?
Shaved head, if that makes much of a difference to you.
Shaved head?
Yeah, bald. That your
Yeah,
big friend
fair
over
enough.
here.
Well, I've got a
I
massive
didn't
mohawk for
hear
starters.
Look, Goliath didn't grow hair.
No. You watched one show where Goliath didn't grow hair.
All right. I'll
And
talk
also,
about it
they
later.
didn't really grow facial hair.
My description, my little mini, massive mohawk. Massive mohawk.
Okay. Yeah, that's all we know, really, is that he was captured for the suspicion of murdering.
Good riddance for all I care. If these people come to these parts and start getting involved with their arcane and their rituals and who knows what else, and disrupting the balance of things.
When he came in, was he on his own, or were there? Because I've heard there's a group of them. Were there any more, or was he on his own?
First night he came in, I think there was another older woman, furs and talking in the corner, quiet or hush hush. But then after then, he just him. Came
Was she shorter by any chance?
in particularly,
She looked human as well.
as far as I can tell. Another human woman. Like I say, she seemed, I don't know how you'd put it, a little bit worried, I guess, a little bit agitated. They seem to be not seeing eye to eye, but before too long she left and I hadn't seen her since. He came in the following night and went about his business.
Do you know who might know where, aside from sort of town officials and city officials, who might have more of an idea where this woman might be, or have any more information about this group of arcane users that are here?
I mean, as much as that, travellers don't come to these parts often. We haven't seen much fresh blood here for years almost. People who are coming here for a reason, and that reason is usually one they don't want to keep, they want to keep quiet.
Mm.
There's enough shadowy activities going on in these towns with the locals, let alone the outsiders.
What shadowy activity are you talking about? Have you had anything recently?
The whole city's built on a thieves' guild. You know, can't be that hard to draw your own conclusions.
That's true. I just mean anything even more out of the ordinary than this town is even to me. I've not been here for a good while. I've heard of the laws, but anything.
Patient. I'd make it my job not to ask and not to know. I need to
That's fair
serve
enough.
drinks and keep the place open. Start asking into people's personal lives, they're not going to be too impressed with you.
Okay, thank you. Do you serve food here?
Yeah, I guess if you need something.
Yeah. Can we have
Garlic
five
bread.
plates? 5 plates of something warm, vaguely.
Yeah, sure. I'll get someone to send something out to you.
Thank you. How much do I owe you?
Just call it a gold for the 5 of you.
Cool. I will leave a gold and a silver on the counter and just smile and nod and walk back to the table.
And the bit of luck, this winter will freeze the rest of these wizards off and we can be going back to normal. Don't know what people are complaining about. Day in, day out, you've got people complaining about it's cold or work's drying out. Yeah, snow this, ice that, complaining. Should be grateful they're still here. Got the livelihood, they've got their health, got a roof over their head. What do they want?
Fair enough. I think people are just longing for what life might have been like before this seemingly endless winter, when trade and work was better and people were healthier and happier.
People don't know how to be happy. This winter's best thing to happen in months, yes. Those who were lazy, those who weren't willing to adapt, have died off, or left, or just vanished. Those who stick it out, those who tough enough for the ones who are going to come out stronger.
Who's vanished?
People who are vanishing out all the time, mountaineers, miners, fishermen go out of the lakes and never come back. It's
Nothing specific springs to mind.
nothing out of the typical, I guess.
Fair enough.
I mean, there's people, usually people don't come back. Usually we never know what's happened to them, so we just assume the worst, assume that the Everwinter's taken them and they weren't strong enough. But last week or so there was a body found in the street, looked like it'd been stabbed or cut up and left there. That's, again, not that rare for these times, but it's the first recently. It's happened, seems a little bit out there, but yeah, a couple more have turned up similar across
It's
10
been-
towns.
Yeah, there's been the places that we've been anyway. There's been very similar goings on, murders. It looks like they were cut up. You say stabbed?
From what I heard,
Do you know their name? The name of the person that happened to?
didn't ask, to be honest. You have people around here get into arguments, owe each other money, say the wrong thing about the wrong thing, gets out of hand and someone winds up dead.
Do you know who might know who it was who dealt with the proceedings of the body, etc.?
Suppose you can start with a stuck-up pair at the town hall. They might.
We have a
Well, you
meeting with
should-
him tomorrow. In fact.
Aren't you the lucky ones?
Felt like that was sarcastic.
Well, thank you anyway. At least knowing that there has been another murder similar to what we've heard of before here is useful. So thank you for that. And I'll go and sit down and relay that information to the rest of the group.
How
You
much
muted,
info
Tony.
back then?
Is Gentle Steps getting anywhere?
You don't know.
I'm still watching.
She's pregnant 3 times.
Boom! I mean, sorry, that was fuck, sorry, look, sorry.
Do they
we're
lay
pregnant to
eggs?
celebrate.
Dragonborn?
No, but Goliaths do. There might be a big poo. But they call them eggs sometimes. Anyway.
So there has been another murder. Murder on the street, stabbed, same as what we've seen before.
This isn't the one that was originally from the 3.
No, it just
Was
seems
killed.
to be a regular occurrence, I think.
That's
Well,
normal here.
Well, the ghost said we're on the right track.
There was also a woman, a humanoid woman here with the wizard that was executed a few nights ago. They seemed to be having some kind of, not argument, but apparently she seemed concerned and worried.
Okay.
We've got some things to maybe ask about tomorrow morning when we have our audience with whoever. Hopefully we can get some more information, as we know that the people we're looking for are here. So we should be quick before they are not here anymore.
And alive, or just not here?
Before, if they move on, I
Okay.
don't know.
Seems pretty empty here. Probably not going to get much more information around. If anything, we can peruse around town. See if anybody needs anything. See if any of the shops are open right now.
I did order some
think
food though, so we should
After
save
that. After food.
Cool. Yeah.
What's the plan?
We're going to chomp away at our food.
I
Eat
will
food.
remain at the bar. If she interacts with gentle steps, he'll interact back. If not, I'll just stay at the bar drinking water.
Make a. God, I want to say persuasion check. But screw it, let's call it a persuasion check.
You've got bless.
It only lasts 10 minutes, a minute maybe?
I think I was talking to her for 10 minutes.
Double check.
I think it's a minute to be fair. Oh! Can I take the one that fell on the floor?
Nope.
Bless lasts for.
Can't hit a table, can't hit on a dragon bone.
Damn! Right, you ready? What am I doing? Persuasion? Oh, I've got loads in persuasion. -1.
Can I assist him by doing like gestures in the background, telling him how to act? Like,
Not 20, motherfucker.
Smile.
-1.
Actually get a
19. 19.
Well done.
I got a 19 -1.
Oh, yeah.
It's gravy time.
Freaking epic.
The rest of you,
Sorry,
make
sorry.
perception checks.
That's bullshit.
Anyone who's paying any
That is
attention to
fucking-
this.
I'm
Hell
directly
yeah.
watching.
That is such sales shit right there.
18.
17.
I'm still sat there.
18.
We're all
Oh.
just like,
Dirty 20.
Alright, so
We all see
guys, yeah, you see the most awkward. Imagine like 17-year-olds on the first date, that level of awkwardness, where it's like talking about like I don't know, fishing techniques, hunting, like the most boring, mundane shit ever. But they seem vaguely interested because they're both as weirdly awkward as each other. Audrey, you do spot something a little bit out of the ordinary. You spot that as they're talking, there seems to be an unnatural blue coloration to their mouth, tongue, and inside of their mouth as they're talking, as this conversation goes on.
Is this how it always goes?
Don't know, but I'm pretty blue anyway, so.
You don't really, I suppose you,
Yes.
as far as you're aware, this is what flirting looks like, Elkis. This is
That
just how, this is just birds and the bees.
Just her, yeah? If my mouth wasn't already agape, like, holy shit, that worked, what? I now have a look of mouth agape, but concerned.
That's Hannah's concerned face.
Is this how they make babies?
That pub quiz.
Wow. How the hell you became a paladin?
Should have ask your mum. Ask your mum. Oh wait.
Ah, damn it! I wish I'd missed that. Oh, I wish I'd had that.
I'm Batman.
We killed her off screen before the campaign. My bad.
Mugged in an alley, pearls.
Those who didn't know.
My mum was
she's not
dead. My parents might be alive, but my adopted mother is dead.
Nah, everyone's dead.
Feel guilty.
Do you want? What do you want?
What are we doing then, boys and girls? This conversation continues between Gentle Steps and
Killing a dragon ball
Metra.
and flirting, apparently.
Should we just leave them here and kind of, come back for them? Because he knows where the apartment is.
No.
Yeah, look,
we
yeah.
need to stay.
Okay.
He needs stress relief. I think we should go. Let's go to Yoselin.
I am gonna stay. I recommend that someone stays with me.
I'll stay with Adri.
Thank you.
Why do you think someone should stay? Is there a problem?
I don't know.
Yet. But that could
Like
be.
going to be a problem? Like, is this kind of I need to get my bow out problem, or are we just
Not
watching
right
problem?
now. We're just watching.
Okay.
Everything seems to be okay right now.
Why
But
are you
gonna
worried?
keep an eye on things. DM,
Yes.
has anything gone missing from our pockets or bags or anything?
Hey, perception check.
That's a 17.
17.
Uh-huh.
You don't appear to be, no.
Okay.
If I see Adri, do I see her checking her pockets, or is that more of like a?
Oh, I'm
issue?
making it known. Like I'm
Shall I just-
checking.
I'm gonna look at her and start checking mine.
Anyone who wants to check their belongings, just make a perception check for me.
I'm pretty sure I can nick it back.
13.
You are unsure. You'd have to properly go through all of your coin purse and your belongings, and you, at a quick glance, you've kind of, you can't remember how much exactly you had. You'd have to count it. It doesn't look tampered with, but you're not as certain.
I think I'm okay. Like a glance. I'd probably have to unpack everything and check. But what's up?
I'm carrying a majority of the coin. I'm gonna just underneath my cloak.
No one's come near us, Adri. What's made you think that?
It's not the coin I'm worried about, and people don't have to come near us to actually be able to dig things.
You want to make a perception check as well for Miss Celine if you're checking your person?
I'm checking my
whisper
purse, not
too.
just the coin bag. I'm checking the other stuff that I have on me. That's sus.
Yeah.
I whisper to Adri that we shared the shardlin out between us, didn't we?
Stop saying that word too loud.
That's why I said I whispered it to you.
Okay, that's fine.
14.
Again, nothing. I'll say the perception checks are also for how aware you've been of your persons as you've been going about your business. The three of you don't appear to be missing anything, though.
The only two things I care about are my hammer and my mentor's necklace.
If someone can pickpocket a warhammer from you, they've done well.
Yeah.
Make a perception check on the other item.
2.
You don't appear to have it on your person at first glance.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember where I put the necklace.
Can't remember where you put it, or you can't find it. Two very different things.
Same result. I don't know where it is.
I pat Elkis down and like look for it.
I'm also going to
Turn upside down. Just
Let's go with triple invest. Right. You
Just
turn
put
around
one
gentle
foot, just-
steps, and you basically see Elkis stood on the table with the 3 female companions, just basically all just patting him down at Gary's action.
I got a 19.
I'm blushing at a darker greeny purple.
What'd you roll, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh,
Oh.
19.
sorry.
Roll
Investigation.
Investigation.
Investigation. One of you gets a nat 1. This could be interesting.
It's thankfully a
The
3.
16.
Where that 3, 4.
Okay.
My gloves are too thick. I can't really feel anything, so that's fine.
What's that?
I'm
That's
blushing
what they all
more.
say.
I don't
Oh,
have
it's a
much
key
to
pocket.
feel.
There's a few awkward moments between Celine and Elkis, but you don't find anything of note.
Wow.
Blushing even deeper.
Wow.
Glowing.
Vale, eventually you do find that kind of tucked into one of the furs, you do find the pendant.
Oof.
Keep better track of it.
Yep.
It's a whole case where like it's on like a I assume it's on.
It's just been tucked
You-
in.
you
for a
wearing
layer.
You
Yeah.
wearing it or is it tucked in?
I'm wearing it.
It's
I
one of those
think.
situations where it's kind of ended up at the back of your head, like the pendant's at the back. You're like,
Yeah.
where's it gone?
Well, I've
Oh, it
got
is.
my armor and then my furs and then my big scarf thing that I wear over my face and yeah, I'm this big but wearing this much.
Okay, so I'm gonna stay here. Vale, you're gonna stay with me?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Cool. Elquist, Celine?
Well, you seem very worried, so I'm tempted to stay, but
Can't be asked.
well,
But after this interaction, I want to
Okay,
see
we'll be
Celine's
alright.
place.
I don't quite understand the worry, and I don't want to get in the way of Gentle Steps' relaxation time.
Gentle stepping.
Yeah.
I just want to keep an eye for a little bit longer, so I can put my mind at ease that Gentle Steps is gonna be fine. And
I'll
I
still eat.
understand, you look at him, he's gonna be fine, but it's more about the things that he's carrying
Special forces, mate.
that I want to keep an eye on. And also, he knows a lot about what we're doing.
I shall
Does he?
stay as long as you're worried.
Like, you can go as long as I have someone with me, because I'm
I'll squish you all up.
super squish. Someone who's less squish and
I-
can actually hit things is
I
all
sh-
that I really need.
I shall stay.
Okay.
Can we hear anything of what they're talking about? How close are we to the bar? Are they even talking?
Perception check.
13.
22.
Roses are red,
8.
I
violets
just
are
noticed I
blue.
was on mute.
So are your lips. I need a poo.
Oh man.
Make a persuasion check.
What,
Just make a general charisma. Just make a charisma check.
Charisma
Nat
check.
20 minus 1.
I don't have any long range spells, I don't think.
17.
I
After
rolled a
him.
nat 1 minus 1.
Oh, 16 because of the minus one.
Like for the first time that you've seen like a genuine sort of half like sort of smile creeps across her face.
Somebody write
You
that
just
down.
imagine
You went
a
down this
dragon
road. You chose this path.
Right. I put it out there now. That's the wrong sentence. I'm telling you now.
This is Sebastian,
This is-
also about hacks.
Yes, it's a bastard. Fucking hell. I don't do PC flirting.
Well, you do, and it's
Don't worry, I'm
Do
not about
now.
to. I'm not
And
about
it's
to RP it
working.
with you
You
either.
do.
It fades to black.
Rob, me and you do some OnlyFans stuff afterwards. It'd be
That's the day. They're not
Only
allowed that on
gravy.
Twitch. They're not allowed that on Twitch.
Oh,
No, but you can have it on OnlyFans. Just start an Only Gravy account.
what makes me in an only gravy account? I got free
All
kids
the
to feed.
future assume we have it. I think we afford all our dice.
Sponsors.
Well, don't say it like that.
Gravy only fans.
Dice only fans.
Okay, so
Send me dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue watching the interaction.
I'm guessing. Do I hear anything with my 13?
Cringy horror.
Oh, that poem was beautiful. I can't remember it. I remember it.
He's an artist.
Piss.
He is God.
Alkis, he's really not.
That was good.
Elkis has got that one banked.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Look, a
Maybe
shade
to his-
of green there, Andrew.
And I'm trying to figure out what my next step is gonna be. Hold on.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna continue eating my food normally. Just
Ever again or in character?
How about stop perving on gentle steps and just eat your food?
Well, you guy, a stew is like a hearty meal of stew and bread is brought out to you. It is solid 6 out of 10. It's been magically reheated by a cook wizard.
Oh, the guy out back on the.
I hate it when they reheat stuff. Micro wizards.
Oh.
Oh, get out,
Damn.
Elvis.
Did you Google that? If not, kill yourself.
It's on the internet now.
Well, that brought back many repressed memories.
While you guys are eating the food and kind of watching this train wreck happen at the bar, you do spot a couple of figures. You just got a poem that worked because of a 0 charisma check.
Yeah, that's not to do with train, right? It's smooth moves, baby.
Hey, I just rationalised the rolls. You see a couple of strangers wandering. You don't recognise them. They take a kind of. They come in. It's a hooded dwarven female. You can tell because of the beard. And what appears to be a human male who has crude leather armor. Both of them appear armed. And they take a seat in the corner. And they just keep. They look shiftier than the rest of the shiftiness of the bar.
What, can we see the dwarf skin?
Big perception check.
That
her
would
face
be
is completely
a 17.
It appears to
plus
be.
0.
It appears to be standard mountain dwarf complexion.
Is the man bold? I don't know if that's a running theme with the wizards, but
He's got a hood up, but you can see a bit of a fringe at the front.
okay.
It's like a dark brown, kind of messy, unkept hair. What catches your attention is that they come in, they sit down, they don't appear to come to the bar. They don't appear to order drinks. They just seem to come in at the corner and just start kind of glancing around, having a conversation between the two of them.
Do you think it's quite rude when they come in and use the place without giving money or buying drinks?
I don't know. It's very cold outside. I kind of don't blame them.
Tell Gentle Steps to go and to ask if she's seen them before, Elkis. If they do this regularly.
I don't want to interrupt him, he's doing so well.
Just tell him.
I would like to sneak over to Gentle Steps and tug on the back of his furs coat. I don't know what he's wearing.
Clothing. Hopefully.
Clothing, yep.
Hopefully he hasn't
Yeah,
got that
nothing
far
else.
yet.
Just as you're midway through the sequel, possibly the greatest 4-line poem you've ever come up with in your life, just at that crucial moment, you feel Elkis grab hold of you and kind of pull at your robes or pull at your. You don't wear outdoor clothing. Your nails just kind of poking you, and it kind of throws you off, and you kind of.
Nobody said hook.
It's just a G-string made out of wolf fur. Just a wolf's head with a rope.
Yeah, I just got a knuckle.
A leather
trout on the end,
G-string.
I went
That's a
just about to-
chastity belt right
Just as
there.
you're-
There
as I
was
bravely
one.
feeling-
Elkis just twangs it.
Just as you're about to deliver the punchline, Elkis throws you off your game, and you kind of, what do you want? And then it's gone. You had it.
Don't you take words out of my mouth. What's up, Elkis? other than me.
The others have sent me over to let you know that there's 2 shifty people over in the corner. I'm whispering this as stage whispers. There's 2 shifty people over in the corner. They have not bought drinks or anything like that. They look a bit odd. We've just
I'm
one.
an online DM. I'm familiar with the stage whisper.
So,
I was just making sure. We just. They told me to let you know and to see if your lady friend needed to know, but I'll leave you to it again, and I'll. Go back.
before you go, Elkis.
Get me back up.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go.
Before you go. Okay.
Oh crap.
I'll turn back to Steve or whatever she's
Yeah,
called.
what's her name? What's her name, gentle steps?
I've told it you 3 times.
It's Merith or something. Marinth, Rasky, Karuski. Babe, I've got some news for you.
Should we save him and like go up there and introduce
That's the realest
ourselves?
RP we've had. That's the realest RP we've had in 9 weeks.
Twice I've walked that charisma check. You motherfuckers can go save
I
yourselves.
forgot her
Right?
name. I'll call Babe.
Well, he's been flirting with her enough. Like, I think he's gotten to that point where he's able to.
For some unknown reason, my friends are worried that... And I look at everyone in the bar when I say this. Somebody's shifty at your bar. Does everyone in here normally purchase drinks, or do they just come to be shifty without drink?
Do some don't. Usually.
Do you
most
care if they buy
granted.
drink?
Doesn't really bother me that much as long as they're not causing problems. Why you?
Oh, because you pointed them out, didn't you? You
Vaguely,
pointed
yeah.
and said there's 2 shifty people. You went like this with your finger. I'm assuming that's a point. Or you might just have arthritis.
Yeah, I tried to do it very shiftily.
Or shiftily and stagey, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
How far
Make
away?
a
How far away are they?
perception
Oh, go on.
check, gentle steps to see if you can spot who they are referring to, please.
13.
You think you do? There's a few tables without drinks on them. Whether or not
How
they've been drunk
close
or
are
not.
the 2 people I think are the shifty ones that Elkis pointed out?
Other side of the bar.
Close
As in
enough.
feet distance, or
As in, close enough if I shouted them they'd hear clearly, or...
is that loud you shout?
Well, I'm going to go for it, but it's a case of, if they're across a bar of 50 feet and 50 people, anyone could think I'm shouting them. Are they close enough?
Yeah.
Are they close enough that I can
It'd be
direct my
hard to
shout
shout. You know, you'd have to shout across multiple of people.
So everybody turns.
Excuse me, and I climb up on the bar.
It's, I can't wait for.
Coyote Ugly comes on from the bar band.
there's enough room for him to stand.
Is this a new
Yeah.
flirt?
Just
Is this the new
like
flirt?
your head's like you kind of have to like you're here sort of level.
I'll take a knee, so I'm on one knee, facing them, not her. Facing them, not her.
Is this some kind of Goliath mating ritual?
Is he proposing?
About to find out.
I do fear for your lot's
Pulls out
intelligence.
notebook.
I'm just putting it out there.
My intelligence is 8.
How are you
Mine's
breathing?
I'm smarter. Aw.
She's
There are
got a
some
9.
like I think there are some eagles that have got higher intelligence than Elkis.
Wait,
There were some
what's
house
his
bricks.
intelligence?
Mine's 8.
10.
9.
So a normal human is 10. Like every run of the
But
day.
you, Audrey?
Damn, I'm 15. Plus
Hey,
10.
you're the smartest.
Like what?
You're the brain.
How
You're
am I
the brains of the
smartest?
operation.
I'm second.
I grew up with like Neanderthals.
I am a
Get
Neanderthal.
I'm a cat.
Humankind.
He's a goblin. He's a mountain Goliath. He literally grew up in caves.
And I'll shout to the 2 I think are the shifty folk. You 2, buy you a drink.
Make a
Sus.
charisma check to see if the right people realise it's them that you're yelling at. As this 6'11" Goliath just stood the bar and yelled across a shifty bar full of cutpurses.
-1.
Please roll a nat
19.
20 minus 1.
Oh, I'm gonna make you use other dice.
Bardic inspiration. Second nat 20 of the night, kids. On charisma
He
checks,
said-
not combat.
AD did say he's going to donate £10 for every nat 20 he rolls.
Payday can't
Yeah.
come soon enough.
To our lass.
There's a few look around, like a few tables look up. The dwarven female and human male
I'll
at the
take a
back.
level above
kind of-
next.
They do look. They kind of look up and they get up and leave the bar.
The people that I'm aiming it at.
Yes.
They just get up and leave.
Oh,
They
they're
get
starting
up
to live.
and leave.
I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Elkis.
Can I see that they're following? Can I see that Elkis is going to cut them off?
Like their neck, they literally duck out the door. By the time Elkis gets halfway out to follow, they'll be out the door. Like, there's no cutting
but
them off.
In that moment of that, and then they start to move, I'm gonna continue voicing at them. But do I notice Elkis has even remotely moved?
Elkis, are you
Not
making
that,
your
not that he'll
objects, or
actually
you-
make it to him. I just
Sneak
need to
out.
know if he moves.
I'm not trying to stop them, but I am gonna follow them out.
Are you doing it quietly so they don't see you, or are you just heading out?
I am going to try and do it nonchalantly, so not running after them. But
Are
walking
you
out
being
the door.
sneaky or not?
No, I'm not going to be very obvious, but
It's a yes or no question, Elkis.
Like to roll a sneak attack.
I am not
attack
trying.
a sneak dice.
I am
Are you
not trying
sneaking?
stealth. I am
Okay,
not
there's the
sneaking.
question.
I am-
Yes, ADs.
Quietly
Gentle
without
steps,
being loud.
You spot Elkis making his way across the bar.
Don't
With
leave
my-
now, it's a free bar. I'm just gonna
With
keep...
my-
Yeah,
They're out the
If
door.
I was trying to get there before them to the door and stop, like put myself in front of the
You
door,
have
would I
to
be able
stop time. They are literally on the table by the door. You're at
Oh,
the table
okay.
by the bar.
Wait, I might have a
You
spell for
you
that.
said they were by the bar.
Yeah,
The
hang
other
on.
side of the bar.
It's the
Oh,
other
I
side of
see.
the bar, but
You mean the other side of the bar room. Yeah, sorry. man,
Wait.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, not bar as in bar.
Yeah,
bar
yeah.
as in
Bar
the
room.
bar, the
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
How far am I from the door?
I may have changed my actions, but never mind.
Eldritch
It's
Blast.
alright, it's alright.
They're at the other side of the tavern. You're by the bar. They're across the
I
tavern.
thought you meant like the end of the bar, like we're at one end and they're
No,
at the
that's what I realised the
It's
confusion
fine.
was.
It's
I
fine.
called the building the bar, and it isn't. It's the tavern.
Did we get a look at them before they left, or the moon on their faces?
How many feet am I away from the bar?
In range of an Eldritch Blast.
No, not Eldritch Blast. Stop with the
From
Eldritch
bar?
Blast.
You're probably within 20, 15. You're the next one table.
of the
table
door or the bar.
on to the bar. You're about 60, 90 feet from the door.
Oh, it's a big place.
No, actually, you're about 60 feet. 90 feet is insane.
That's a
You're
big
about
bar.
60 feet.
Fucking hotel.
Could I Misty Step 30 feet and
I
then
don't-
sprint?
I don't know feet very well. You can.
To stop them from getting out the door.
Not.
If they're sat by the door,
They're gonna get up in
Like that.
6 seconds. They'll be out the door in 3 seconds. You'd have to beat them, and you'd have to react before them, and it'd be an
As
initiative
soon-
check to
as
see.
soon as they leave,
don't worry.
as soon as they leave, I'll turn to Bib.
Please,
And,
DM, what is her name?
It's mantra or
I
something.
remember
like
your carbon NPCs.
that. Like, yes, because there's 2 of them.
You're a lazy DM, not my fault.
It's mantra or something like that, or ventra, mantry.
Not even close. Not even close.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. What's the
Please
name?
don't
Then?
just make me rewatch
What's the
the
name?
episode.
I'm still
Nimetra.
Diametra.
What?
Our miles away.
Nimetra. Nimetra.
Nimetra.
Nymetra.
Oh, when you
He
spell
spelled it right. Oh.
As soon as they leave, I'll turn to Bib, because that's it now. Where's the back door to here?
She turns around.
Wrong with the door over there.
That's not what I asked. It's a matter of life and death.
Make a deception check.
I'm not lying.
If you beat me on this roll, I'm quitting.
Wait, did I just hear Bex laugh in the
If you
background?
get 20, I'm done.
Why am I deceiving?
Because it is a matter of life and death. You have no reason to.
No.
But it could be.
You
But
don't
it
know what
could
I'm going to
be.
do with them
We're
two if they don't fucking play ball.
Make a persuasion check then.
It's not any better, but that's not the point of making.
Flirt with her. Flirt with her.
I'll take the equally bad roll, but on principle.
right.
Come here. Tell
Oh, and a
what that number
charisma
is
check.
on that.
Oh my god.
20.
If I get another one, I'm
minus
When you roll a dice, you don't hold it with the 20 up and just drop it like an inch from the table.
Don't you? That's like I did
goes
that.
out and just hammers them
And,
flat.
I did that. It bounced to an 8, so I probably won't do that.
It's a D20, but there's only 1 or 20. There is no in between.
There's no ones on this
God,
dice.
as if that just happened.
Not one's on this dice.
Even the 12's got a 1 missing. Do you know what I mean?
For a sec, she kind of looks out. She just looks at you for a second. It's like, fine. Behind the bar, at the end of the corridor.
Please say I'll be back.
I just turn and as I'm walking over, like, I'll be back.
Can you not just sweep her off her feet? Like.
No, I got ropes.
Just go-
He's a 6'11" dragonborn. You give that a go.
Could have given
is
her
a
like
strength-
a kiss on her paw, just be like,
And I'm a rogue.
no.
Alright?
Claw? It's a claw, babe.
Paw.
Strength
Lady paw.
Strength-based actions
Lady
are not
paw.
my fault.
So
And I'm out the
Elkis
bo-
makes his way towards the front entrance.
I'm following him.
The plan is, mate, to go out the back door and tail them.
I
Okay.
am not going to move. I'm going to stay in the bar.
You're just like, so it pans out. Scatters everyone else runs off.
I'm going
okay.
to
Think about them right now.
Okay, so Elkis,
Yep.
you get to the front door.
Mhm.
And you, as you kind of look left and right, make a perception check for me, please.
7.
You look left and right, and you don't immediately spot them, but you see the tracks leading off to the left, heading towards the edge of town, and you spot, starting to follow the track, kind of keeping low from the shadows, what looks to be the silhouette of your faithful rogue companion.
Okay, I'll follow, but I won't rush. So letting gentle steps have a good lead.
Oh,
Okay.
the plan is to stealth, Rob. I'm not like.
Yeah, I know you are. I know. Make a stealth check for them.
The one thing
Nat
I'm
one.
good at. The one thing I'm good at.
Nat 1. Bet it's going to be karma.
I don't fucking roll. 17.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
That seems more reasonable. Okay, they seemingly don't look behind them. They just kind of power walk with purpose, these two hooded figures, off out towards the edge of town. The Wet Trout Tavern is 3 buildings from the edge. Where the lake meets the land, it just goes out into, there's a few sparse kind of deadwood trees, and then it just goes out into kind of the hilly tundra to the east of East Haven, and they seem to be heading in that direction. They do not appear to look behind them. They just seem to take off with purpose.
How far away from me are they?
They're probably about 90, 100 feet away from you. You come out, they've gone out that way, and by the time they've, Gentle Steps has kind of closed the gap by cutting out, you've got to kind of cover the length of the building, and then carry on.
Can I catch up within 90 feet?
You'd have to get a run on to catch him, and you can see that he is making an effort not to be seen.
Not gentle steps, them. Are they way ahead then?
Yeah, they're like 120 feet ahead.
Can I get within 90 feet of them?
To do what?
What's your movement?
My movement is 30 feet. I want
You
to.
could,
get-
but they're going to keep moving as well. So depending on what you're going to do, it would depend who reacts first. If you can
yeah.
catch
I guess I'm asking how fast are they going. If I can
They're
catch up
walking,
within
they're
90
brisk-
feet, I
they're
want
briskly
to.
walking.
Right, I want to dash to 90 foot range then and cast Hunter's Mark.
You have to. Okay. Are you
The initiative.
trying to do this without them noticing?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a stealth check. You in play? You're in what armor are you
It's
in?
a
Leather.
medium, it's normal.
I'm in Levia.
Okay. Yeah. Make a stealth check.
How good I am at these. I cast Blessed on myself.
Too late. You'd already done it, smart.
That's an action
Okay.
as well, mate, so you'd lose 30 feet on.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
If, I get what Rob said, but also just keep aware what you're trying to do.
Yeah, no worries. That's a 12 on... No, 11, sorry.
Okay. So, Vale, did you say you're following?
Yeah, and I
Celine?
dwarves are one of my favourite enemies, so I have advantage on tracking them just because I'm going with Elkis. So.
Dwarves are your favourite. Yeah. You must be the
After
first
the Duragar at the
ranger
level
I
up, of course they are.
Are dwarves your favourite enemy, or a Duragar your favourite enemy?
Dwarf. I've got goblinoids, elves, and dwarves.
I think Duragar are classed as dwarves anyway,
They
but
are,
I'll
mate,
double
they
check
are,
that.
they are.
Cool.
I would have
Celine?
chosen Duragar specifically if there was a choice for
I
that.
figured as much.
Dwarves,
What are you doing?
natural, mate.
I'm gonna turn to Adri and tell her I think it's wise to follow, but if we go right now, I just want to ask real quick the bartender if he knows who those two are. Have they been here before?
She.
Bartender's a
She,
lady.
yeah. Oh, sorry, she, yep.
Okay.
I want to ask her, have they been here before by any chance? And if she's not replying, I'll hand her over, slip her
A
some silver.
slipper. Alright.
Yeah, slip her, beat her with a chancleta.
I'll beat him.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, talking to you.
Me?
Yes.
You can hand up. Are you answering Audrey? Or are you doing it privately?
No, Celine's asked.
No, Celine's talking
Oh.
to the bartender.
Yeah.
Oh, bartender! I thought you were talking to
Yeah.
Audrey.
No, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
Sorry.
She
I'm
turned
gonna
to
ask
me
her.
and said, I'm
But
going to
because-
ask the bartender something. I'm like, yeah, okay, go for it.
Sorry, I thought she was asking you. It's my mistake.
Yeah. No, I told Adri it'd be wise if we go, but I just need to ask the bartender really quick something, like, because I have a bad feeling.
What you asking?
And I want to ask her real quick, like, have they been here before, those two that ran out? Do you know them?
Do you want to get a good look of them? To be honest, they scarpered when the big fella started shouting.
Big
So they've not been here before.
He knows my name. Hi, two.
I'll turn around to the
Sorry.
Dragonborn. Sorry, the Dragonborn. Just nod at her. Like in a polite way and ask her, yourself?
The
Might be a matter of life and
bartender
death.
is
Oh,
the
she is the Dragonborn. Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought that was somebody else. Yeah,
I
okay.
also got confused
Yeah,
for a little while.
yeah.
So none of us know where we are, is what we're trying to say.
Alright, I wanna get out of there as quick as possible.
Okay.
To Adri, like, you coming
So-
along?
Yeah, I'll follow after.
So, what were you doing, Val? You were taking off after Elkis.
Yeah, well, I left at the same time as Elkis did. We sort of moved towards the door together, so I'm
So
going with
you
him.
would have seen Elkis mutter an incantation under his breath. He hold his hand out. Gentle steps. You're heading up, and from where you are bouncing between the buildings, you see the figure, the taller figure, look over towards Elkis, or look over kind of the right shoulder as if he was like some sort of like they're just checking over something. Can Elkis and Vale make a perception check for me, please?
As I also have Hunter's Mark as a spell, would I know that's what he's cast? Would I recognise it?
It's a verbal component.
Yes, you would.
What am I making? Sorry,
Perception.
what check?
Okay, perception, you and
Perception.
Elkis, please.
14 plus 4, 18.
7.
7 for you, Elkis.
Yeah, it depends if you're saying if Hunter's Mark has taken hold, then I get advantage there.
Yes, Hunter's Mark has taken hold.
I'll have
Okay.
advantage.
Roll the stealth check was to see if they realised they'd been Hunter's Mark.
Yeah. Not much better. 10.
What do you get? Sorry, Vale.
I got 18. Do I get I know it's a high roll, but do I get the advantage for my favoured enemy?
It's the bloke that turned
No,
around, not
because
the
it's
dwarf.
the human who turned
Oh,
around.
right, okay. Cool, no worries. Yeah,
So,
18 then.
As Audrey and Celine get to the door, you look out as you see Vale and Elkis take off across the town. You don't see gentle steps. And Vale, you see as this humanoid looks over a pair of blue piercing eyes as they disappear out of town.
Oh.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
No!
Okay.
Bastards.
Yeah.
knew the blue piercing. We should have kept looking at everyone's eye colour. We did that the first few times we were told about blue eyes.
People think it's rude though if you're like lifting the hoods. Like, can you just look at me? Just look at me.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
thank you very much, players. Welcome back. Good to have you all back.
Yeah.
Good to see that AG's figured out how to cheat dice in the 3 weeks I've been away.
I
we started drilling holes.
technically didn't get a 20 all night. That's the -1 charisma. I can't believe you got that.
I have to start rolling live.
I got a nat 1 -1 on a charisma check to a stupid poem. I was like, yeah, she loves it.
I love how her getting a 0 made you get a half smile from her. Like she's that.
That is
like...
ridiculous. Yeah. Do you know how much effort that was?
Well, let's not pretend. The
A
poem
half
wasn't good. Objectively, it was crap. Just like she was borderline impressed.
She probably hasn't seen anything better for a very long time, so.
Cut me deep there. Cut me deep there. Go. Cut me deep.
So, thank you very much, players. Thank you very much, those guys and girls in the chat. Hopefully you've enjoyed. As always, please give us a follow on Twitch. Catch us again next Friday and every Friday from 8 p.m. If you did miss any of the episode or you want to catch up and see what's been going on, you can follow us on YouTube, Heavyweight Gaming, and catch up. The episodes are uploaded midweek. And follow us on all the other social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow if you like what you saw. Amazon Prime users, if you haven't already, with an Amazon Prime, if you link it to your Twitch profile, you can give a subscription free of charge to your favorite streamer. Obviously, we'd like deals. If you if you'd like to, make good use of that, just link your accounts, to your Amazon Prime accounts, and support your favorite content creators. It does go a long way in helping us to continue providing stuff all through the week and keeping the quality hopefully on the increase. And yeah, it keeps us going, which is great. Thank you very much, players. Glad to have you all back. Hopefully we've dusted the cobwebs off. Good session, all sorts of shenanigans and weirdness, which doesn't surprise me with you lot. But we are back. We are back. It's the important thing. Yeah, we'll be back next Friday. We will see where this takes us and to see what actions the group takes next. Other than that, guys, have a awesome week. If you want to see any of the RPG shows we've got going on through the week, we've got D&D, Pathfinder, Carbon 2185,
yep.
87,
the game you're playing every Thursday.
I know, I've been playing Cyberpunk. So yeah, we've got stuff going on all through the week. Check us out, share us, spread the good word. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Anything to add, AD?
No, just
it's gravy time.
Thank you for the follow for the bunnies. For the bunnies. Thank you for the follow.
Bunnies.
Yeah, just a big thank you to all of yourselves and yourself, Rob, for bringing in the end of the year with the start of this new campaign. It was really cool, and I'm really looking forward to see and play more in your wonderful style. So, and thanks for letting me tie up with you, barmaid. So, yeah, thank you very much.
You would have flirted with me on the internet. I'll always let that happen.
Well, it's kind of weird when it's just me and you. Well, at least we got an audience now.
At least, yeah, an audience. I don't know if it makes it worse or better.
It's when we do that weird
Makes
mirror
it
thing.
fab.
Where we try and shave each other's head, but anyway. So,
Just the heads.
Yeah.
Coconut oil after is when it
Just
gets
the
weird.
heads.
I didn't say which
You're not
head.
supposed to drink it.
Exactly.
So,
Stop
right, just basically reiterating what Robin said. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Tune in tomorrow for Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Sunday for the return of Dice of the Beholder and their home-brewed campaign playing DnD5e. So take care of yourselves and we shall see you all later. So for now, say bye-bye, players.
Bye, players. Toodles.
You're out.